हाँ जी गुरलीन, एवरीथिंग ओके?
हाँ जी सर, ऑल ओके। वॉइस आ रही है मेरी?
हाँ जी, आ रही है। तो एक ऐसे है कि सॉरी, आई एम आउट ऑफ स्टेशन और पीयूष जी भी हमारे आउट ऑफ स्टेशन है। तो यूट्यूब शुरू हो चुकी है ना?
सर रिकॉर्ड को बटन दबाना है। वैसे आपने
नहीं
लाइव
नहीं,
नहीं आ रहा ऊपर सर, लाइव एग्जैक्टली
आ
स्टार्टेड।
रहा है ना? ठीक ठीक है, क्योंकि क्लाउड वाला यहाँ पे नजर नहीं आ रहा था ना।
So, good evening, everyone. I welcome everyone on this sixth day of GST course. And before we start, I welcome the speaker of the day, Arup Das ji. So,
एक मिनट
welcome.
गुरलीन, आई वेलकम अरूप दास जी। सॉरी फॉर द इनकन्वीनियंस कि मेरे को भी ना अर्जेंटली वो चंडीगढ़ आना पड़ गया। आई एम ऑन दी वे। तो वो पीयूष जी भी हमारे ऑलरेडी चंडीगढ़ के रास्ते में ही हैं।
कोई
तो
प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
हाँ, आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही मेरे को, कोई दिक्कत लग रही है इधर शायद ना?
नहीं, मेरी वॉइस अश्विन जी।
Sir, everything is clear.
ओके,
हाँ जी, नाउ इट इज क्लियर सर।
ठीक है।
तो आई वेलकम यू सर।
Thank you.
मतलब कहते हैं वो आज सभी चंडीगढ़ में हैं। तो बट जो हमारे गुरलीन जी हैं, ये भी हमारे सीएस सेशन के इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट हैं। तो ही विल हैंडल टुडे सेशन। डियर पार्टिसिपेंट, इट इज द डे 6, द लास्ट डे ऑफ द कोर्स, and I hope you have enjoyed and learned a lot in all the 5 days which we have completed. This is the last day, although I have announced that many things has been left behind. It may be related to industry or some topic, so we will launch part 2 very soon. Within 4-5 days we will launch the part 2, so that we can complete all the critical topics as well as the important industries from the important and masters in the GST speakers, जो GST में हमारे speaker हैं। तो without wasting much of the time, I request Gurleen ji to kindly introduce formally Arup Das ji and start the day 6 proceedings relating to GSTR 199C 2B 2B etc.
Thank you, Ashwini Jindal ji. So, I'm obliged that I have been given the opportunity to introduce the speaker of the day. Moreover, before I introduce the speaker, I would welcome first of all everyone who have joined exactly on 3:50. I am surprised because today I have been given the duty to start the Zoom session, and I am very much happy that just on the login session there were 50 members who have just logged in, and immediately the class is getting full. So I can see the people's dedication for the course. So thank you once again, Ashwini Jindal ji. And for those who have joined late, I would like to mention that Ashwini Jindal sir, the coordinator and host and ghost of the session, he has to leave the office just because of some urgent meeting in Chandigarh. And then also he has joined on his mobile, and I have joined his system on his behalf, and even my system is reflecting his name as host. So those who get confused, I am not Ashwini Jindal, myself Gurleen Singh Sani. So I am happy to introduce the speaker, Arup Das Gupta ji. Arup Das Gupta ji is a FCA, ACS, and CISA with more than 2 decades of experience and based out of City of Joy, Kolkata. He has hands-on experience in providing opinion and advisory services on indirect matters to some leading corporates, carrying out strategic review of business process to evaluate the GST implications, relying to SCN, undertaking litigation services and representations before the adjudicating authorities, appellate authorities, and SISTER. He was co-opted member of IDTC, EIRC for the year 2019-20. He has published articles in journal and leading online websites and has an article with a view of more than 2 million. He has trained students, professionals, senior government officers, professional bodies, and trade bodies on GST and other identity related topics across multiple states in India. He is a faculty on GST with ICI, NSCIN, and some other leading universities. He is passionate about providing solutions to the issues faced by the trade bodies, and he has been a partner in it since the inception of GST, of which he had opportunity to represent before Honorable FM Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Revenue Secretary, CBIC Chairman, and members, CEO, GSTN, and other stakeholders, the issue faced by trade. Great, sir. While he is away from the entire taxation, startup ideas keep him engage as he tries to mentor on pro bono the startups with his huge exposure of last 20 years in the areas of compliance, taxation, and business structuring. I would say this resume is never getting ending, and his resume is far excellent. And I have enjoyed really reading out the resume. Welcome to sir. I hope the faculty of the day will make every people, all the people, start with him for another 1 or 2 hours. So we are with you. So I request you to kindly take your mic and please start the session.
Thank you, Kulwinji, and thank you, Voice of CA, and Ashwini and Piyush ji for giving this wonderful opportunity. And thanks to sir for the wonderful introduction that he has given, the warm and wonderful introduction that he has given. So, as we know that there is a 6-day course that has been gone, and there are a few topics which may overlap. So, but the kind of program implementation or integration that I've done today, I'll just quickly share my presentation. So we'll be at the same patch. Yeah. So Guruji, my screen is visible now?
Yes, sir, the screen is visible and audio is clear.
Okay. So just give me a moment. I'll just put in the presentation mode. Yeah. So as the topic today given to me is about the 3B and GST 99C changes. And since, if discussing about 3B and only 99C, it becomes too boring. So I have put in some commercial breaks between, which are some litigative issues that we are facing regarding, 3B or GST 9. So those things also we are going to discuss with you. So I'll start with a quote of Honorable late President. We should not give up and we should not allow the problem to defeat us. So when you are working in the domain of GST, ये बात तय है कि प्रॉब्लम्स आते रहेंगे, नोटिस आते रहेंगे और आपको उसको रिप्लाई भी देते रहना पड़ेगा. But the only thing is that one good thing about GST is that it is in the truest sense one nation, one tax. And why do I say so? I say so because 5 years from behind this, in 2016, I could only practice VAT in some of the states in India because the VAT laws for every state was different. तो मैं अगर वेस्ट बंगाल, उड़ीसा, बिहार या फिर त्रिपुरा में काम करता था, तो मैं केरला या कर्नाटका या फिर दिल्ली में जाके काम नहीं कर पाता था. क्यों? क्योंकि वहां के VAT laws अलग थे. But with GST, that thing has totally been changed. Today, sitting in West Bengal, I am attending hearing in Hyderabad and resolving problems for my clients who are sitting in Bangalore or maybe Delhi. So that is the positive part about GST. And now we have standard disclaimer that we have that this entire presentation is just for the sake of discussion, exchange of ideas. This does not have any legal validity. If there are any errors in either quoting the section, any citation, those are purely unintentional because the intent, of the host, that is the Voice of CA, and my intent is to actually share the kind of knowledge or the kind of things that I want to share with my fellow brothers and sisters. The views are shared in my individual capacity as a speaker and not in my professional capacity as a litigation person or a chartered accountant. And the host, that is the Voice of CA, may or may not subscribe to the views of which are being shared by me. So what are we planning to cover? So we are planning to cover basically what are the exemptions that have been gone away with. 99C में हम लोगों को काफी सारे exemptions मिले थे till last year. क्यों? लॉ नया था, हम भी नए थे और काफी सारे डिफिकल्टीज थे. मतलब जैसे कि आपका आउटवर्ड HSN फिलअप करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट था, फिर क्रेडिट नोट अलग से दिखाना डिफिकल्ट था, आईटीसी का रिकॉन्सिलिएशन करना डिफिकल्ट था. तो इन सारे मजबूरियों को समझते हुए, yes, okay. So in just for the sake of clarity, we will take up all the question and answers at the end of the session. And I guarantee you that to the best of my capacity, I'll try to answer all the question and answers, whichever we are going to get during the session. So now continuing with it. So we are going to discuss about what are the exemptions that were there in 99C which have been listed. What are the changes? 3B में ऐसा क्या हो गया कि पूरा हल्ला लग गया, हल्ला मच गया पूरा. All the groups in the cross, WhatsApp, they're sharing that this is not possible. MSMEs cannot do this. ये होगा तो क्या करें, वो होगा तो क्या करेंगे, and things like that. Then we will discuss about the tables. Okay, the standard tables which are there. I'll not go clause by clause because it's almost five, the 4 GST 9 and 9Cs we have done. So I'll not go clause by clause, but I'll briefly try to share about some of the tables, some of the aspects which are there. And finally, I'll discuss about the litigative areas. कहाँ से notices आ रहे हैं? कहाँ GST R9 या फिर 3B या फिर 9C से notices क्यों निकल रहे हैं? और उन notices नहीं आए, इसके लिए हम लोगों को क्या करना? That is a part of today's discussion that we are going to cover. And I hope and believe that we all will be benefited from the discussion that we are going to have. Okay, so now moving forward. So I'll just quickly go through the journey of 3B. What was the first intent? It was about having 1, 2 and 3. फिर शुरू में अगस्त में बताया गया कि 2 and 3 is not coming. 1 is only there. And since we cannot come with the procedure of 2 and 3, we will have an interim measure of GSTR 3B. इसमें you just have to give summary figures. आप सिर्फ sale डाल दो, ITC डाल दो, and payment कर दो. Main intention of the government was that the payment of taxes should not stop. Okay. Then we have a litigation in the form of AAP and company was this, and then there was a notification which said that you can, as the interim measure, inform GSTR 3B, you can file all your taxes, pay all your taxes. Then we had a very important judgment of the Honorable Gujarat High Court in the matter of AAP and company was the Union of India, wherein it was held that GSTR 3B is not a return, which is specified under section 39. And what was the outcome of this? तो अगर मैंने 3B में कोई भी क्रेडिट नहीं लिया है, ठीक है ना, अगर मैंने क्रेडिट नहीं लिया है, उसका क्रेडिट मैं बाद में भी ले सकता हूँ. That was the fallout of this particular judgment. So any error that I have done, any addition that I had to do, I can do it later on. Why? Because form GSTR 3B is not a return, and all the areas of the law wherein the word return was mentioned, that was totally missing in the act. Then what happened? Then there was a notification after that, 49/2019, wherein they made a change in Rule 61(5) and said that actually GSTR 3B is the return in lieu of, in lieu of the document, in lieu of GSTR 3. So this is the return that you have to file. Then after this came in towards the end of 2019, there was an idea of coming with a new return. Okay, new return, and that was a lot of things to be done. And new return ka bhi testing hua. Then we came to understand that filing of so much of data for the new return was not possible. And so finally, in the month of March 2020, just before COVID struck India, in the 39th GST Council meeting, the decision was taken that the new returns will not come into place. Iske jagah pe kya hoga? We will link GSTR 1 with GSTR 3B, and we will link GSTR 2A, 2B with 3B. Why? Why was this linking important? ये क्यों करना पड़ा गवर्नमेंट? इंडस्ट्री और ट्रेड से काफी सारे कंप्लेंट्स आ रहे थे कि आपने हमें अलग से 1 फाइल करने के लिए बोला है और फिर 3B फाइल करने के लिए बोला है. अभी 1 में क्या किया, मैंने अपना आउटवर्ड टैक्सेबल जो टैक्सेबल सप्लाई था उसको मैंने दिखा दिया 10 लाख, ठीक है. और 3B जब हम लोग फाइल कर रहे हैं तो मेरे टीम में मैंने गलती से वो 10 लाख को कर दिया 1 करोड़, ठीक है. तो जब ये 10 लाख और 1 करोड़ का डिफरेंस हो रहा है, या फिर टैक्स में अगर मैंने कोई भी गलती कर दिया और उसको फाइल कर दिया, वो क्या बोल रहे हैं कि आप आगे जाके एज पर सर्कुलर नंबर 26/2017 issued in December 2017, what did they say? They said that any error, any addition, any deletion, any correction that you want to make, you can make in the future returns. But take a case where the entire turnover for a particular period is not 1 crore. तो वो रजिस्टर्ड टैक्स पेयर कहां पे जाके करेक्शन करेगा? क्योंकि उसने तो एक महीने में गलती कर दिया, 10 लाख का 1 करोड़ ले लिया. अब उसके सारा साल का, पूरे साल का जो टर्नओवर है वो से 70 लाख है, तो 1 करोड़ वो कहां से एडजस्ट करेगा? वो एडजस्ट नहीं कर पा रहा था. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट देयर वर ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम्स विद आईटीसी आल्सो सिमिलरली. तो आईटीसी में क्या हो रहा था? आईटीसी में सपोज किसी का 1 लाख रुपया लिया हुआ है, मतलब आईटीसी होना चाहिए, तो उन्होंने गलती से 3B में क्या किया, 15 से 1.5 लाख लेना था, 15 लाख कर दिया, एक जीरो का प्रॉब्लम से. तो उन्होंने ले लिया बट उन्होंने यूटिलाइज नहीं किया. बट इसको लेके भी काफी सारे प्रॉब्लम, नोटिस इशू होना शुरू हो गए. तो दैट्स व्हाई डिपार्टमेंट डिसाइडेड, ओके, You file GSTR 1, and whatever data is coming in GSTR 1, we will auto-populate that to your GSTR 3. तो आपके जो taxable supply में mistakes या फिर taxes mistakes वो बंद हो गए, right? And what is the second part? 2A के जो figures है वो भी आपके 3B के ITC में populate होते हैं. तो आपके पास जैसे आप बहुत ज्यादा कुछ डिफरेंस कर रहे हो तो एटलीस्ट आपके एक रेड मार्किंग आ रहा है, एक वार्निंग आ रहा है कि आपने गलत किया है. ऐसा नहीं कि आप उससे ज्यादा नहीं ले सकते हो या फिर उससे कम नहीं ले सकते, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. बट एटलीस्ट आपको एक वार्निंग मिल रहा था कि एज पर योर 2A योर आईटीसी इज ओनली 1.5 lakhs बट यू आर टेकिंग 15 lakhs. सो तभी एक जाके दिमाग में आई नहीं शायद हम गलती कर रहे हैं तो एक बार देख लेते हैं. सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज. सो हम लोगों ने शुरू कहां से किया था? 1, 2 and 3 से शुरू किया था when GST came into law, came into the implementation, and finally where are we today? Today we are back to 1, 2 and 3. How is it? We are filing GSTR 1. We are getting the auto-populated data in 2B after 1st January 2022. 2B is compulsory, and from 2B we are going to 3B wherein we are filing the final return. So 1, 2, 3 की जगह पे 1, 2 and 3B में हम लोग अभी आ गए. And then in this story, what is the story? The entire story was about calculating or controlling the ITC. अभी आप वो ये बोल सकते हो कि सर ITC मतलब इतने अगर restrict कर देंगे फिर स्मॉल बिजनेस कैसे बिजनेस करेंगे, उनका तो बिजनेस बंद हो जाएगा एंड वो इतने सारे डिटेल्स कहाँ से मिलेंगे. But we also have to understand and appreciate that along with honest taxpayers, there are also taxpayers who are trying to generate bogus bills, taking fake credits, and a lot of other issues. So in order to control the entire spectrum, the control mechanisms are being put slowly. So क्या हुआ? पहले अक्टूबर 2019 में शुरू हुआ कि आप 2A में जितना भी है आप उससे 20% ज्यादा ले सकते हैं. फिर 2020 में क्या बोला गया? आप 10% एक्स्ट्रा ले सकते हैं. ठीक है ना? आप 10% जो भी आपका 2A में अगर 1 लाख रुपया दिखा रहा है आप 3B में 1,10,000 तक ले सकते हैं. 2021 में क्या बताया गया? आप 5% दे सकते हो. सो 2021 में आपने अगर आपका 2A में 1 लाख आ रहा है तो आपने 1,05,000 तक आपने लिया है. अब जाके क्या हुआ? 1st January 2022 से 16 to AA ये सेक्शन इंप्लीमेंट हो गया, नोटिफाई हो गया. एंड इसमें क्या बोला गया है? जितना भी आपका 2B में है, जो भी आईटीसी आपके 2B में है वहां तक आप ले सकते हो, कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा नहीं ले सकते. ओके आप कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा नहीं ले सकते. सो दैट वाज द फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स गोइंग टुवर्ड्स लिंकिंग योर आईटीसी विद योर रिटर्न्स. सो अभी क्या बताया गया? जनवरी से आ गया कि आपके 2B से जितना भी आपका 2B में आईटीसी दिखा रहा है उतने का ही आप आईटीसी आप 3B में ले सकते हो. हाँ ऐसा सिचुएशन हो सकता है कि प्रीवियस किसी मंथ में आपने नहीं लिया, वो भी आप ले सकते. दैट आईटीसी कैन आल्सो बी टेकन बाय. Now, going forward, so what are the recent changes that have happened? The recent changes are that new tables have been introduced in GSTR 3B, and the notified changes are effective from 1st of September, and table 4, okay, the table 4 reporting are also applicable from 1st of September. So what are the changes? And the relevant circular for this is circular number 170 of 2022, wherein you can see whatever discussion we are going to have, they have also clarified in the circular. So first we will go to table 3.1.1. यहाँ पे क्या हो गया? यहाँ पे what has been the changes? In case of e-commerce operator, if you have a client like Swiggy or the Olas of the world, who is an e-commerce operator through whom somebody else is doing the business, okay, and for whom 9.5 is applicable. In that case, if section 9.5 is applicable and the e-commerce operator is supposed to file the taxes, returns and pay the taxes, in that case, for them, they will not file 3.1. They will not file 3.1. Rather, they will file table 3.1.1. In 3.1.1, clause 1, the turnover will be filled up by the e-commerce operator. So, if your client is, say, kind of Swiggy, and Swiggy is paying the tax on the turnover that has been sold through it. So suppose some 20 restaurants are making the supplies through your client, and your client has collected the money for the same. So here in 3.1.1, your client will state the taxable value and the tax, and you have to pay the same accordingly. Okay, and the restaurants who are making the supply through this e-commerce operator, they will only have to file in 3.1.1 clause 2. Why? They'll just have to show the taxable value so that later on, at the end of the year, they can match their taxable value, which they're filing here, with their taxable value as per their IT returns. Okay, so this is one major change that has come for the e-commerce operator, because there was a lot of confusion after it came that for the restaurants the taxes has to be borne by the e-commerce operator. Then many of the restaurants, they were showing it in the taxable value, showing the tax, and they were not paying the tax, and so there was a lot of confusion of this. So this is what I've discussed, that 3.1.1 is for the e-commerce operator and 1.1.2 is for the registered supplier. And we need to keep one thing in mind here, which is, yes. Okay, so here we need to keep one more thing in mind, that is the e-commerce operator or the registered suppliers who are supplying through e-commerce operator, they did not fill 3.1. Please do remember that, because 3.1 is for people who are other than e-commerce operator or registered suppliers supplying through e-commerce operator. Okay. Next change is in 3.2. Friends, to some of you, maybe these things could be not so much of relevance, but for the general category, and since with the number of e-commerce operators increasing, so I thought that I'll discuss everything in detail, and then we'll go one by one. So in 3.2, this again is another area of litigation which is coming. And why is this area of litigation coming in? इसमें क्या हो रहा है? Suppose you are a supplier from Delhi, and आपके पास क्या हो रहा है? हरियाणा से लोग आ रहे हैं, चंडीगढ़ से लोग आ रहे हैं, हिमाचल से लोग आ रहे हैं, तो आपके वहां पे आप सर्विसिंग कर रहे हो, से मोबाइल का सर्विसिंग करते हो आप, तो आप क्या कर रहे हो? ये सपोज दिस सप्लाईज आर देयर एंड यू आर मेकिंग ऑल दिस सप्लाईज. तो इसमें क्या हो गया? इसमें जो भी है आपने टैक्स कलेक्ट किया प्रॉपर्ली से फ्रॉम एवरीबडी, एंड यू नो दैट द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई इज हिमाचल प्रदेश एंड द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई डिफरेंट प्लेसेस ऑल टुगेदर. बट इसमें क्या हो रहा था? फॉर द सेक ऑफ ईज मैं क्या कर रहा था, मैं अगर दिल्ली का सप्लायर हूं और मुझे यहाँ पे 3.2 में प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई देना था, तो मैंने सिर्फ दे दिया हरियाणा, देखिए मैंने टोटल टैक्सेबल वैल्यू डाला और अमाउंट ऑफ इंटीग्रेटेड टैक्स डाल दिया, बस बात खत्म. ठीक है ना? और मैंने कुछ नहीं दिया. मैंने सोचा कि मैंने तो अपना टैक्स पे कर दिया और मैंने रिटर्न भी प्रॉपर्ली फाइल कर दिया. क्यों? मैंने तो दिखा दिया ना कि टैक्स कितना बनता है. बट फ्रेंड्स, वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड अप्रिशिएट दैट GST is a destination based consumption tax. So GST में क्या होता है कि जिस स्टेट पे कंजम्पशन होता है उस स्टेट को ये इनकम जाना चाहिए. तो अगर कोई हिमाचल प्रदेश से आके दिल्ली में कोई भी कुछ काम करवा रहा है और उसका कंजम्पशन अल्टीमेटली हिमाचल प्रदेश में जाके हो रहा है, तो उसका जो बेनिफिट, टैक्स का जो बेनिफिट, उसे हिमाचल प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट को मिलना चाहिए. So because of this settlement issue which was not happening properly, they have now incorporated it that in 3.2 आपको करेक्ट डिटेल्स देना पड़ेगा. तो कितने हरियाणा के कस्टमर्स है जो आप सप्लाई कर रहे हो, कितने हिमाचल के हैं, कितने चंडीगढ़ के हैं, ये आपको अलग अलग से भी मेंशन करना पड़ेगा और उनका सारा डिटेल्स यहाँ पे देना पड़ेगा इफ यू आर मेकिंग टू अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्संस और द कॉम्पोजिशन टैक्सेबल पर्संस. क्योंकि B2B वाले तो अब अलग से दे रहा हूं, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. अब एक क्वेश्चन जो हम लोग वेबिनार या सेमिनार में हम लोग को पूछा जा रहा है कि ठीक है अरूप, तो अगर हम लोग ये नहीं दिखाते तो प्रॉब्लम क्या हो? हम लोग अभी जैसे दिखाते आ रहे हैं दिल्ली दिखाएंगे, थोड़े ना हमको 10-15 स्टेट के अलग से दिखाएंगे, नहीं दिखाएंगे, तो उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है? फ्रेंड्स, प्लीज गो टू एक्सप्लेनेशन टू सेक्शन 74 and you'll understand what is the impact of not showing in the returns which you have to show. Because अगर आप ये properly show नहीं कर रहे हो, तो first thing is that it is a suppression of fact. कि आपके बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में कुछ अलग है और आपने रिटर्न में वो फैक्ट दिखाया नहीं. अब इसके पहले आपने नहीं दिखाया, वो अलग बात था. जब से ये नोटिफाई किया गया है, जब से ये मैंडेटरी किया गया है कि आपको दिखाना पड़ेगा, इसके बाद में अगर आप नहीं दिखा रहे हो, देन इट इज सप्रेशन. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट विल कम टू योर माइंड, सप्रेशन हुआ तो क्या हुआ? इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? फर्स्ट, योर लिमिटेशन पीरियड जो 3 साल का है, 2 years 9 months, दैट विल गेट एक्सटेंडेड टू 4 years 9 months. मतलब जहां पे अगर ये नहीं होता तो आप 3 साल तक डिपार्टमेंट को टाइम था कि वो आपकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके आपको शो कॉज नोटिस इशू कर सकते हैं। अभी उनको 5 साल का टाइम मिल जाएगा, 4 years 9 months का टाइम उनको मिल जाएगा फॉर इशूइंग द नोटिस। Apart from that, when they will invoke section 74, please try to understand they can always go for higher penalty. So this is the implication. तो इसलिए अगर आप unregistered supplies करते हो, interstate करते हो, it is requested that you show all the separate place of supply separately in your 3B returns. Now we will go to the most important part. इसके लिए सब हम लोग वेट करते हैं रैंडम, विच इज टेबल 4 ऑफ जीएसटीआर 3B। इसमें क्या क्या चेंजेस लाए गए हैं? फर्स्टली 4B, देखिए 4A में कोई चेंजेस नहीं है तो हम लोग डिस्कस नहीं करेंगे। 4B1 में क्या लाया गया है? एज पर रूल्स 38, 42 एंड 43 ऑफ सीजीएसटी रूल्स एंड सेक्शन 75। ठीक है ना? तो अब तक क्या था? 42, 43 तो आप करते ही थे। व्हाट इज 42, 43? इट इज व्हेन आई एम मेकिंग अ टैक्सेबल सप्लाई and exempt supply. For example, मेरा राइस मिल है तो मैं राइस भी बेचता हूँ, राइस ब्रांड भी बेचता हूँ। तो राइस जो है वो मेरा एग्जेम्प्टेड है, राइस ब्रांड जो है वो टैक्सेबल है। तो मैं दोनों के लिए मैं मटेरियल परचेज करता हूँ एक साथ। मैं पीपी बैग्स खरीदता हूँ, मैं कुछ मशीनरी के पार्ट्स खरीदता हूँ, ठीक है ना, मैं और कुछ भी सर्विसेज लेता हूँ जैसे इंजीनियरिंग सर्विस, कंसल्टिंग सर्विस, वो कॉमन है। तो जो भी कॉमन इनपुट है या इनपुट सर्विसेज है उनके लिए क्या करना पड़ता है? टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाई मुझे रिवर्स करना पड़ता है। या अदिति जी, वी विल टेक ऑल द क्वेश्चंस एट द एंड ऑफ द सेशन। इफ यू कैन काइंडली पुट इट इन द क्वेश्चन आंसर, आई विल जस्ट टेक ए नोट एंड देन आई विल आंसर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस। सो 42, 43 is mainly for reversal of exempt supplies for inputs and capital goods। वो ये तो हम लोग पहले से ही करते थे। 38 is for banking and financial companies, ये भी हम लोग पहले से करते। बट हम में से कितने लोग 17.5 मतलब इनएलिजिबल क्रेडिट एज पर 17.5, जैसे कि वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, क्लब्स है, लाइफ इंश्योरेंस है, मोटर व्हीकल्स है, इसके जो क्रेडिट्स है, ये जो ब्लॉक्ड है 17.5, ये पहले भी था, ठीक है ना, डिस्क्लोजर टेबल में था, बट हम लोग दिखाते नहीं। तो अभी डिपार्टमेंट ने क्या, कभी गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया? गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कि अगर आपका कुछ भी इनएलिजिबल क्रेडिट आता है तो उसको आपको 4A5 में लेना पड़ेगा, लेके देन यू हैव टू reverse it under 4B1. You have to reverse it under 4B1. So this is one thing that you have to keep in mind, my friends, that whatever credit is coming in your 2B, you have to take the entire credit in 4A5. That's what the circular is saying. That's what the government intention is. कि you take the entire credit. आपको अगर 100 रुपए का क्रेडिट आ रहा है 2B में, आप 100 रुपया ले लो, इसमें से सपोज 20 रुपए आपके मोटर व्हीकल्स के लिए, आपने गाड़ी खरीदा, तो उसका आप क्या करो? 4B1 में उसका आप रिवर्सल करो। बट थिंग इज, रिमेंबर, यू हैव टू टेक द क्रेडिट एंड यू हैव टू शो इट अंडर द परमानेंट रिवर्सल व्हिच इज नोन एज 4B1। व्हाट इज 4B2? 4B2 इज टेम्पररी रिवर्सल। ये टेम्पररी रिवर्सल क्या हुआ? टेम्पररी रिवर्सल हम लोग को मालूम है, टेम्पररी शेल्टर, जैसे हम लोग वो टेंट वगैरह लगाते हैं शादी में, वो 2-1 दिन के लिए रहता है, फिर तो टेंट हट जाता है, फिर रास्ते खुल जाते हैं, राइट? सो सिमिलरली this temporary reversal is for a temporary period। कैसा है? गुड्स इन ट्रांजिट है। सेक्शन 16 आपको क्या बोलता है कि आपके पास इनवॉइस है, आपने गुड्स रिसीव किया है, आपने पेमेंट किया है, उन्होंने वो परचेज को दिखाया अपने रिटर्न्स, राइट? ये सारे कंडीशंस है। तो इसमें से क्या है? एक कंडीशन जो था कि आपको गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज रिसीव होना चाहिए, इसके बाद आप आईटीसी ले सकते हो। तो अभी दे हैव गॉन अ स्टेप फॉरवर्ड एंड दे हैव सेड take the credit even if you have not got the goods, okay, the goods are in transit, take the credit in all other ITC and then reverse the same under 4B2 under temporary reversal। So this is one area of goods in transit जहां पे कि आपको रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा under temporary reversal। apart from this temporary reversal में और क्या जा सकता है? कोई भी सर्विस आपने ले लिया ऑलरेडी, ठीक है, बट आपके पास, सॉरी, कोई भी सर्विस आपका आया नहीं है आपके पास, बट उसका इनवॉइस जो है अभी 2B में ऑलरेडी दिख रहा है, बट आपके अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट में अभी तक आया नहीं है। तो इन दोस केसेस आल्सो यू हैव टू टेक द क्रेडिट एंड देन रिवर्स इट अंडर अदर रिवर्स। सो 4B इज फॉर बेसिकली रिवर्स। नाउ 4D, व्हाट इज 4D? डी से अब याद रखिएगा, इट इज ओनली अ डिस्क्लोजर टेबल। बी इज नॉट अ ट्रांजैक्शन टेबल। जब हम कोई भी रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं उसमें दो तरह के डिटेल्स होते हैं, एक है डिस्क्लोजर टेबल, एक है ट्रांजैक्शन टेबल। जैसे जब हम लोग आईटीआर फाइल करते हैं, जब व्हेन वी आर गिविंग अ नेम और पैन नंबर, एड्रेस वगैरह वगैरह, नेचर ऑफ बिजनेस, दोस आर ओनली डिस्क्लोजर टेबल्स, दे डू नॉट इम्पैक्ट द फाइनेंशियल फिगर्स जो भी हम लोग दिखा रहे हैं। सिमिलरली दिस डी डिस्क्लोजर टेबल डू नॉट इम्पैक्ट कितने अमाउंट आपका इलेक्ट्रॉनिक क्रेडिट लेजर में जा रहा है। तो डिस्क्लोजर टेबल में उन्होंने क्या मांगा है? ITC reclaimed which was reversed under table 4B2 in earlier tax। तो पहले आपने रूल 37 के लिए मतलब 180 डेज के पहले आपने पेमेंट नहीं किया था, तो आपको क्या बोला गया है as per rule 37, you have to reverse the credit if you have not made the payment to the vendor, and whenever you make the payment to the vendor you can reclaim the credit। तो आपने क्या किया? सितंबर महीने में आपने दिखा दिया कि सर मैंने इसका पेमेंट नहीं किया विद इन 180 डेज, तो मैं इसका रिवर्सल करता हूं, करके आपने 4B2 में इसका रिवर्सल दिखा दिया। फिर आप नवंबर महीने में जाके आपने उसको वेंडर को पेमेंट कर दिया, तो अब जाके आप क्या कर रहे हो? 4A5 में आप उसका क्रेडिट ले रहे हो। तो जैसे आप क्रेडिट ले रहे हो आपको 4D1 में भी दिखाना पड़ेगा दैट दिस ITC दैट आई हैव रिक्लेम्ड व्हिच वाज रिवर्स्ड अर्लियर अंडर 4B2। नेक्स्ट आपको क्या दिखाना पड़ेगा? इनएलिजिबल आईटीसी अंडर सेक्शन 16(4) एंड आईटीसी रेस्ट्रिक्टेड ड्यू टू पीओएस प्रोविजंस। इसके बारे में हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे अगली स्लाइड में, एक दो स्लाइड के बाद। एक जो मेजर रीजन है कि क्यों क्यों ये चेंजेस किए गए हैं, फर्स्ट इज टू एंश्योर द सेटलमेंट ऑफ फंड्स। देखिए आपका क्या है, आप सोच रहे होंगे कि अगर हम लोग 17(5) के ब्लॉक क्रेडिट्स नहीं दिखाते, मैंने एक इंटीरियर डेकोरेशन का काम करवाया, उसमें मेरा आईटीसी जो है से 30 लाख का है। मैंने क्या किया, उसका आईटीसी अवेल नहीं किया, बट मैंने कहीं दिखाया भी नहीं रिटर्न में कि मेरा वो इनएलिजिबल आईटीसी है। इसको मेरे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, क्यों? आई हैव नॉट अवेल द इनएलिजिबल आईटीसी, सो गवर्नमेंट कैन नॉट टेल मी दैट पे इंटरेस्ट और समथिंग लाइक दैट। मैंने अपने बुक्स में क्या किया, उसको कैपिटलाइज कर लिया, ठीक है, उसको मैंने अपना कैपिटल से ऐड कर लिया, बस बात खत्म, और कुछ नहीं। बट प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट द गवर्नमेंट इन दिस केस हैज टू वेट till the last date। जैसे अभी 30th नवंबर is the last date for availing the credit। 30th नवंबर 2022 के बाद जो भी ऐसे क्रेडिट्स जो पड़े रहेंगे, जो कि आपके 2A में हैं पर आपने अवेल नहीं किया, इसका सेटलमेंट हो सकता है, इसके पहले कभी भी सेटलमेंट नहीं होगा। तो जब अब हम अभी अगस्त से या सॉरी सितंबर से जब हम लोग दिखा रहे हैं, अगस्त रिटर्न से जब हम लोग ये दिखा रहे हैं कि इतना साल मेरा 17(5) में इनएलिजिबल क्रेडिट है, तो उतने का सेटलमेंट उसी हाथों हाथ उसी महीने में हो जा रहा है, ठीक है ना। तो सपोज इनएलिजिबल क्रेडिट which was not taken by you in September, in the month of September, say 10 lakhs. So for the 10 lakhs, whichever state has to get that settlement done, as per the settlement policy in IGST Act, that settlement can happen quicker and faster. That will not have to wait till 30th November 2023. So that is one of the reasons. Second reason is to ensure uniformity amongst taxpayers. क्या हो रहा था, कुछ taxpayers क्रेडिट नोट को 4A5 में नेट ऑफ करके दिखा रहे थे, मेरा ऑल अदर आईटीसी इतना है, मेरा क्रेडिट नोट से आईटीसी इतना रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा, मैं नेट ऑफ करके दिखा दूं। कुछ टैक्स पेयर्स क्या कर रहे थे, क्रेडिट नोट को ऑल अदर आईटीसी में दिखा रहे थे, ऑल अदर रिवर्सल्स में दिखा रहे थे। तो अलग अलग ट्रीटमेंट्स हो रहे थे, तो उस यूनिक एक यूनिफॉर्मिटी रखने के लिए ये चेंजेस लाए गए हैं। सो 4B1 क्या है, मैंने पहले आपको बताया कि whatever is coming in 2B, please take it to table 4 in GST or 3B. Then whatever is required to be permanently reversed, please reverse that। अच्छा, इसमें एक चीज आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि आपके 2B में आप देखिएगा कि दो तरह के क्रेडिट्स आपके नहीं दिखा रहे, जो कि 2A में है बट 2B में नहीं है। कैसे वो क्रेडिट्स हैं? एक है 16(4) वाले क्रेडिट्स। 16(4) मतलब सपोज a tax supplier uploads his sales details after the month of October. I'm saying for 21-22. तो आफ्टर द मंथ ऑफ 20 अक्टूबर, सो सपोज नवंबर के रिटर्न में किसी ने 21-22 के कुछ सेल्स इनवॉइसेस अपलोड किए, तो वो क्या होगा, आपके नवंबर वाले जो 2A है उसमें दिखेगा कि he has filed his return and is coming in, बट वो 2B में कभी नहीं दिखेगा। क्यों? That is filed after the time period within which you have to avail your credit as per section 16(4). 16(4) क्या बोलता है कि now it is extended to 30th November of the next year or the filing of your GST return, which will be. So where the recipient of an, so that is one thing which will not come in your all other ITC 4A5. Another thing, where the recipient of interstate supply is located in a different state or UT than the place of supply. So, I belong to the city of joy, which is Kolkata, and I go to Mumbai, okay, for the World Congress of Accountants, and I stay there maybe for 4 days in a hotel. The hotel gives me, I give them my GST number, and they give me a bill. And what does the bill have? The bill is charged as Maharashtra, SGST, and CGST. That is the charging that is there is a levy that is on my invoice. तो इसमें क्या होगा? वो मेरे 2A में आएगा, वो मेरे 2A में दिखेगा. क्यों दिखेगा? क्योंकि मेरे GST नंबर मेंशन किया हुआ है, उनका GST नंबर में, तो it will flow to my 2A, but it will not be a part of my eligible credit, which I am eligible to take in 4A5 of GST or 3B, right? क्यों? क्योंकि इसमें place of supply is not West Bengal, place of supply is mentioned as Maharashtra. So these two credits, 16.4 वाले credits, मतलब due date के बाद जिन्होंने upload किया 2A में, या interstate supply जहाँ पे की state place of supply दूसरा state है, इन दोनों के जो credits है, ये हमारे 4A5 में नहीं आएंगे, बाकी सब 4A5 में आ जाएंगे. And what are the permanent reversals? Rule 38, Rule 42, Rule 43, and ineligible ITC under 17.5, जो मैंने already discuss किया है. And what are the temporary reversals? First is Rule 37, जो मैंने बताया आपको कि आपने payment नहीं किया, consideration to the supply within one place, and Section 16(2)(b), non-receipt of goods or services. मतलब आपको goods or services नहीं मिले, but invoices 2B में दिख रहे हैं. So in that case, what you do in both these cases, you show it in your 4B2 reversal, temporary reversal में दिखाइए, ताकि बाद में जब आप अगर पेमेंट करते हैं या फिर वो गुड्स और सर्विस आपके मिल जाते हैं, आपको इनवॉइसेस मिल जाते हैं, तो यू टेक द क्रेडिट ऑन दैट. ओके, सो देन दिस इज अबाउट द डिस्क्लोजर टेबल, जो मैं बोल रहा था कि आई विल डिस्क्लोज इट लेटर ऑन. सो 41 का मैंने ऑलरेडी आपको बता दिया कि जैसे आईटीसी रिक्लेम आपने किया है बाद में आफ्टर पेइंग टू द वेंडर, उसको आपको इसमें दिखाना है. आईटीसी रिक्लेम्ड ऑन फॉर गुड्स इन ट्रांजिट या सर्विसेज येट टू रिसीव, ठीक है ना. जो भी आईटीसी आपने पहले 4B2 में रिवर्स किया था और आप अभी क्लेम कर रहे हो 4A5 में इस महीने में, उसको यू हैव टू शो इन 4D1. अभी इसमें भी देयर आर क्वेश्चन, मेनी पीपल आर आस्किंग कि अच्छा सर अगर आप नहीं दिखाते तो क्या होगा. प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. आप जितने डिटेल्स अपने रिटर्न में भरोगे, दिखाओगे, उतना ही आपके बाद में आपके रिकॉन्सिलेशंस, आपके एक्सप्लेनेशन कम हो जाएंगे. क्यों? क्योंकि द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर विल नो कि दिस इज द अमाउंट दैट यू हैव एक्चुअली रिक्लेम्ड. तो आपके एनुअल रिटर्न में भी जब आप रिकॉन्साइल कर रहे हो, उसमें भी ये सारा डिटेल जब प्लॉट होगा तो आपके लिए इजी हो जाएगा. एंड व्हाट इज 4D2? 4D2 in the disclosure table has to be shown for the ineligible ITC which you are not claiming because of 16.4 or because of the place of supply being in a difference. Emails and the WhatsApp groups saying that मैं 4D2 नहीं दिखाना चाहता. क्यों? तो मेरा कोई impact नहीं है. Please remember that already the state of Kerala, they have issued a circular saying that whatever disclosures have to be given as per the amended 3B, those are compulsory and mandatory in nature. Those are not optional. And also in the state of West Bengal, the taxpayers are getting mails. Okay, in state of West Bengal and some other states, taxpayers are getting mails saying that you have not filled 4D1 and 4D2 details, which are binding on you. If you have details, kindly fill them up. So when this, letters are coming, mails are coming, circulars are coming, please bear in mind that this is going to be mandatory in nature. So there's just an illustration which you can go through whenever you get the PPT. Basically, what was happening is that you receive goods hai, and you have not got the goods, say in invoice number 2, you have not got the goods for 1 lakh. Then ITC on import of goods है 10 लाख का, और आपके कुछ ineligible grade है 3 लाख का, आपको वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के मटेरियल दिया है. तो अर्लियर आप क्या करते थे, आप 2 लाख और 10 लाख ये 12 लाख दिखा देते थे, सिंपल, और कुछ नहीं. अभी आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप पूरा का पूरा 16 लाख you have to show in 4A5, and then after you show it in 16 lakhs in 5, you are showing in 4B1 3 lakhs जो आपने वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए किया है, and 1 lakh you are showing in 4B2, and finally the net eligible ITC of 12 lakhs is getting reflected in the electronic credit ledger. Friends, please try to understand that the amount going to the electronic credit ledger remains the same, only the disclosures have changed. So we are also getting questions in the different webinars or the seminars that I am attending that sir इसका accounting हम लोग कैसे करें क्योंकि books में तो दिखाना पड़ेगा. So just to give an illustrative idea, though I am not a person of accounting, I am a chartered accountant, but I mainly handle indirect tax litigation based on the customs, excise, service tax, and GST and all this. So I'm not very hard on the accounts, but yes, my team has given me to understand that this journal could be passed, which is goods in transit 100 rupees, GST on goods in transit. You create a temporary account 5 rupees, and you park it to cash, bank or supply 105. So what happens in your books? You have a ledger which says that this is the GST on goods in transit, and so this is the amount which is going to match with your temporary reversal for that particular month. Okay, so you have a proper idea, because friends, always try to understand. अभी हम लोग सारे GST audits handle कर रहे हैं सब, या फिर notices भी, शो कॉज notices भी handle कर रहे हैं, उसमें हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि books के साथ returns का match होना कितना जरूरी है. तो इसलिए whenever you are doing this, please try to encourage your clients, or if you are a part of the company, of the industry, please try to pass these accounting entries in your books of accounts so that there is a constant match between what you are showing in your returns and the books. Now, some common queries. I'll quickly go through the queries. I'll not go through all of them, but I'll just pick and choose some of them. So the first thing is that suppose wrong taxable amount uploaded in GST 1 by supplier, auto-populated 2B. So say invoice is actually for 1 lakh, but in 2B it is shown as 10 lakhs. So इसमें हम लोग क्या करेंगे? Please try to understand that your credit is for 1 lakh only. So you cannot take 10 lakhs. So even if you have to take in 4A5 the amount of 10 lakhs, try and do a temporary reversal of 9 lakhs. Now, you may tell me, sir, why temporary reversal? Why not permanent reversal? Please try to understand that इसके बाद आप vendor को जाके बोलोगे कि भाई तुम ये जो invoice है इसको amend करो. तो जैसे ही वो amend करेगा तो 2B से आपका 9 lakhs घट जाएगा. तो तब जाके आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? तब जाके आपको इसको क्लेम करके 9 lakhs परमानेंट रिवर्सल में दिखाना है. नहीं तो आपका तब जाके दिखेगा कि आपका बहुत अमाउंट कम हो गया. तो इसलिए आई वुड सजेस्ट, ऐसा अगर कोई भी गलती है तो आप उसको टेम्पररी रिवर्सल में दिखाएं. ओके, देन नेक्स्ट इज सेकंड. यस, so invoices in the wrong invoice issued by supplier and consequently credit note issued by supplier. So ये भी कॉमन चीज है. सप्लायर ने अपने से ही 2 लाख का एक इनवॉइस गलत रेज कर दिया था, फिर अपने से क्रेडिट नोट भी इशू कर दिया 2 लाख का. ठीक है ना? और उसने ये भी नहीं सोचा कि 2 लाख जब आप इशू करते हो इनवॉइस, उसमें ईवे बिल का भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लायबिलिटी आ जाती है. तो आपके पास ये क्या होता है ना, ये 2B में जो है ना, आपका इनवॉइस भी आता है और क्रेडिट नोट भी आ रहा है. तो आपके लिए नेट नेट क्रेडिट एलिजिबल कुछ नहीं. बट प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट आपने वो क्रेडिट नहीं लिया वो तो ठीक है, इसमें डिपार्टमेंट कुछ नहीं बोले, बट आपने आईटीसी जो रिवर्स नहीं किया ना बिकॉज ऑफ द क्रेडिट नोट, इसके लिए कल आपको नोटिस मिल सकता है. इसलिए इन दिस केस इफ there is a wrong invoice issued by the supplier and consequently credit note is issued, please take it in the ITC and also show it in your temporary reversals. Okay, and अगर वो कल जाके amend करता है फिर उसको आप लेके फिर permanent reversal दिखाएं. अगर वो जब तक amend नहीं करता है तो at least because now credit notes are being shown under the temporary reversal 4B2, तो इसलिए you take it under all other ITC and reverse it under 4B2. ठीक है? नहीं तो बाद में आपको नोटिस आएंगे कि आपने क्रेडिट नोट का रिवर्सल क्यों नहीं किया. ये नहीं बोलेंगे कि आपने वो आईटीसी क्यों नहीं किया. ठीक है ना? इनवॉइसेस विद महाराष्ट्र पीओएस बट रिफ्लेक्टेड इन 2B एज सीजीएसटी एंड एसजीएसटी, वेदर टू बी अवेल्ड एंड रिवर्स. ये तो मैंने आपको बता दिया कि अगर दूसरे किसी पीओएस का है जहां पे आप बिलोंग नहीं करते, उसका क्रेडिट आपके 2A में नहीं दिखे, मतलब 2B में एलिजिबल क्रेडिट के हिसाब से नहीं दिखेगा. नेक्स्ट क्वेरी, इनवॉइस शोन इन 2B प्रायर टू जुलाई 22 बट नॉट बुक्ड इन अकाउंट्स और अवेल द सेम. तो इसमें क्या है कि सपोज मई महीने के 2B में दिखा था, ये आपको दिख गया ऑलरेडी 2B, बट तब जाके क्या होता, आपके पास इनवॉइस नहीं थी, आपके अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट में अकाउंट दिया नहीं, तो आपने क्रेडिट लिया नहीं. तो नाउ यू कैन टेक दैट क्रेडिट. लेटर ऑन यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन दैट दिस क्रेडिट बिलोंग्स फॉर पीरियड प्रायर टू अगस्त. आई हैड नॉट टेकन दिस क्रेडिट एंड नाउ आई एम एविलिंग दिस. तो मैंने जितने भी सेमिनार्स अगस्त में लिया है उसमें मैंने ये सजेस्ट किया था कि आप सारे लिस्ट कर दो कि कितने ऐसे क्रेडिट्स हैं जिसके फिगर्स 2B में ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं फ्रॉम अप्रैल टू से जुलाई, ओके, और जिसका क्रेडिट आपने 3B में नहीं लिया है, तो उसका हम लोगों ने सजेशन दिया था कि उसका आप पूरा पूरा ऑल अदर आईटीसी में ले लो और टेम्पररी रिवर्सल करके रख दो, और अब जब जैसे जैसे इनवॉइसेस आएंगे आप आईटीसी में लो और फिर आगे बढ़ते रहो, ठीक है। तो अगर वो आपने नहीं किया है, तो अगर आप आज के दिन में कर रहे हो, तो प्लीज डू इट, टेक इट इन योर आईटीसी, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम। Okay, CN related issues. CN issued by the supplier, whether to be adjusted with eligible credit or shown under reversal. इसमें there are no two opinions now. There is a clear view by the department that if CN is issued by the supplier, you have to show it under your permanent reversals. I'm sorry, under the temporary reversal that they are showing now, which is under 4B2. You have to show the reversals as it is coming in your 2B also. इसमें और कोई doubt नहीं. CN showed by the supplier in 2B but not recorded in books. Okay, this is again a very interesting situation. तो इसमें क्या होगा कि आपके सप्लायर जो है उन्होंने एक CN इशू कर दिया और अपने 1 में भी डाल दिया, बट आपको बताया नहीं, आपके पास भेजा भी नहीं कि भाई ये CN मैंने आपके नाम पे इशू किया, आप बुक्स में एडजस्ट करो। तो इसमें आप क्या कर सकते? प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, once you get from now on, we are requesting all the clients to get the details of invoices and CN raised by the supplier on a month-end basis. तो एक कट ऑफ टाइम आप कर दो, कोई भी है 25 का, 26 का, 27 का, कुछ भी कट ऑफ टाइम कर दो बिफोर द मंथ एंड्स, एंड यू टेल दैट विद इन दिस कट ऑफ डेट 27 तक आप बोल दो सारे वेंडर्स को कि आपने जितने भी इनवॉइसेस या क्रेडिट नोट्स इशू किए हैं, सारे के सारे इनवॉइस और क्रेडिट नोट्स हम लोगों को भेजिए। अगर हम लोगों को नहीं मिलता है, then we cannot account for it. So that is a different story. That's the internal control mechanism. But अभी what will happen if the practical problem comes here? That is the main query in different webinars that we have been asked. तो इसमें आपको क्या करना चाहिए कि क्योंकि आपको क्रेडिट नोट अभी तक नहीं मिला है, in my view, you should not reverse the ITC. Okay, because it may so happen that the credit note may not be proper. Maybe the credit note has to be, amended by the supplier. So there may be so many situations. But in this case, you can always explain that the credit note was received by me later on. And this is the view that I am taking. But the conservative view, which many professionals are saying, is that if any 2B, if any credit note is coming in your 2B, please reverse the same. Okay, please reverse the same. And if as soon as you get the credit note from the supplier, book it in your accounts. But that's a very conservative approach of doing it. I don't subscribe to the view. I subscribe to the view that we should reverse the credit only after I get the credit note in my hand. Okay, next is about the ITC related issues. What are the issues? So in case of ITC on real estate, yeah, this is again a query which is being asked. In case of real estate or restaurant services where ITC is blocked, where the ITC has to be available. Friends, please try to understand what is the objective. As for people who have joined a bit late, maybe I'll just tell you once again the objective. ये जो 3B में इतने सारे changes हुए, किस लिए हो रहा है? So that the settlement of accounts between the government, they can happen properly. तो real estate में आपका क्या है? आपका ITC eligible नहीं. But how will the government know whether you are doing only real estate and restaurant service? Maybe along with real estate, you are doing interior decoration service, construction services, you are doing some maintenance service, you are doing so many other things. So that's why, even in case of real estate or restaurant service where the ITC is blocked, please do avail the ITC in 4A5 and reverse the same. And reverse the same in your permanent reversal, which is 4B1. Why? So that in later stage, whenever there is a notice coming in that as a real estate company, why are you not reversing your ITC? You can just give them an answer that we have already done it, sir, from the date it was made applicable as per the notification. Next, is the table 4D mandatory and will it impact on calculations? As I've already discussed this, 4D 1 and 2 are disclosure tables. They are not going to impact your calculations. What credit is going to go to electronic credit ledger. But as has been already mentioned by the government in the notification and the circular and the different government bodies, governments are already sending notices or other letters. It is mandatory in nature. You cannot bypass 4D. You have to show the disclosure of कितने का क्रेडिट ऐसा है जो आपने पहले रिवर्स किया था, ठीक है ना? 4B2 में आपने रिवर्स किया था because it is not paid in time or because the goods are not received, services are not received, and उसको आपने reclaim किया है बाद में. ये ऐसे कितने क्रेडिट्स वो आपको दिखाना पड़ेगा और कितने ऐसे क्रेडिट्स हैं जो कि आप ले नहीं सकते हो बिकॉज ऑफ द पीओएस प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई इशू कि आपके पीओएस डिफरेंट है फ्रॉम दैट पीओएस और बिकॉज ऑफ द इनवॉइस बीइंग रेज्ड आफ्टर uploaded after the 16/4 deadline. Next is ITC to be reversed by builders for purchase of more than 20% from this will be sorry for more than 80% from the unregistered taxpayers. तो इसका हम लोग क्या करें? We all know that as per notification 3/2019, as per the notification, we have to reverse ITC if the purchase from the registered taxpayers is less than 80%. Okay, so suppose the purchase from registered taxpayers is only 60%. Okay, so in that case what will happen on the 20% balance amount? Okay, 20% of the total purchase, on that you have to pay the ITC, you have to reverse you have to pay the same on the RCM under the reverse charge mechanism. Okay, so you have to reverse the same. So we have to understand that when I am paying the ITC in case of builders for not buying from registered dealers, that is not reversal of ITC, that is for payment as an RCM. Okay, so in that case, that will have no reflection in the 3B because that has to be paid through DRC 03. Okay, so in that case also, in the case of builders, what we'll do is we'll claim the ITC, whatever is to be claimed, and whatever ITC is not eligible or I'm not taking, whatever is blocked, I will reverse the entire thing under 4B1. Okay, next is correction of earlier excess availment of tax. This is again a very important thing. I had availed excess ITC. I had availed excess ITC in the month of May. अब जाके मैं क्या करूं? Simple. If it is a permanent reversal कि मैंने गलती से कर दिया, कोई भी ineligible credit था, suppose motor car, I have taken that, or suppose it's for worst contract, मैंने गलती से ले लिया और मैंने उसको यूटिलाइज किया, यूटिलाइज नहीं किया, that is a different part from the interest angle. So उसके लिए मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? I can just show it in my reversals as a permanent reversal if it is an ineligible credit. If it is otherwise, whatever mistake is there, I'm not supposed to avail it, then I'll just reverse. Okay, so now after the changes in 3B and all, so I'll just share, just as a commercial break, there is a question which is the registration of my suppliers have been cancelled since date of registration. Will I have to reverse ITC merely on the basis of the letter? Because अभी इतने देर हम लोग 3B बात कर रहे हैं तो सर भी दुख जाते हैं, जैसे कभी-कभी ब्रेक चाहिए. तो इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि सप्लायर का रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हो गया और आपको एक लेटर मिलता है कि सर इस सप्लायर का रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हो गया, तो आप इस पे जो है ना आप ITC रिवर्स कर दो along with interest and वो हमको कंफर्म कर दो. So whether we have to do so on the basis of the letter. What if we receive an SCN? So that is the thing of discussion here. So please remember that instruction number 1 of 2022-23, they have clearly said that until there is proper adjudication, recovery will not happen. So only on the basis of some letter, because my registration, the registration of a supply is cancelled, it will not force me, it cannot be forced upon me to pay the reverse ITC then and there through DRC 03. And apart from that, there is the important citation of Sanchita Kundu, was the Executive Commissioner of State Tax, wherein it has been said that once the genuineness, have verified the genuineness and identity of the suppliers in question, and more particularly the name of the supplier, the registered taxable person, were available at the government portal, showing the registration and valid as existing at the time of transaction. So जब मैंने purchase किया था, तब their registrations were valid. So if the registration is cancelled at a later date, that cannot be a reason to cancel or force me to reverse my ITC. Okay. Since many of the friends are getting this, so I thought this litigation thing I would just include here in the presentation. And there is the further things. Yes, they are without any further verification. It cannot be said that there is a failure on the part of the petitioners in compliance of any obligation required under the statute before entering into transaction. So in this case, please give a copy of the invoice, copy of the transport documents like the LR copy, weighing slip, give the e-way bill copy, give the payment details, and furnish all these details to the proper officer so that he can go through it and be satisfied that the transaction was genuine in nature. And so the ITC did not be reversed just because the registration of the supplier is cancelled. I'm telling this about genuine cases. If it's a matter of fake or bogus invoice, which you really know it's to be fake or bogus, there is no point in actually litigating on the same. And this is again another issue, which is about LGW Industries. You can go through it. They've again deliberated on the same thing. And they have also said that these are the documents which we need to check, before saying that whether the transaction is genuine or is actually a fake transaction. So, friends, that's why whenever you're getting a question about 3B2A mismatch or the cancellation of supplier, please do provide all the documents to the proper officer so that he can go ahead, check them and verify that they are bona fide. Next, this is about amendment in 16.4. I hope and know that today is 30th day of November and we all are lucky that we got this date to make all the amendments in our invoices and the credit notes that were there so that we could take the credits within the due date of 30th November. So even if you are filing a return for an earlier period now, you can file so and you can avail the credit. But only one thing is there, only one hitch. It is unfortunately the QRMP taxpayers. Okay, the taxpayers were filing return on a quarterly basis. They could not take advantage of this opportunity if they have already filed the September returns. Okay, because here now the date was 30th day of November, it was not linked to any due date. And since they cannot file any IFF, they cannot make any amendments in the IFF, invoice furnishing facility. For them, the 16.4 benefit was not to that extent available this year. We have already made the representation to the respective government bodies, and we hope that we'll have a favorable year. We'll be lended a favorable year the next year, and even the QRMP taxpayers, they will also be benefited out of the 16.4 transaction. Okay, now another important change is about 59.6 that GSTR 1 cannot be filed if 3B is not filed, and also GSTR 1 has to be filed sequentially. तो पहले क्या हो रहा था, मैं 3B तो sequentially फाइल कर रहा था, बट अपने 1 को मैं फाइल नहीं कर रहा था. क्यों? क्योंकि मुझे 1 में अगर वो जो सेल है ना, वो जो दिखाना पड़ेगा वो बहुत हाई है. ठीक है, तो इसलिए मैं 1 फाइल नहीं कर रहा था. मैं 3B कुछ महीने में फाइल किए जा रहा था जाके मेरा ई-वे बिल का जो प्रोसेस है वो चालू रहे. बट अभी व्हाट इज द न्यू चेंज? नाउ GSTR 1 हैज टू बी फाइल्ड सीक्वेंशियली. तो मैंने जुलाई का किया, उसके बाद ही मैं अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर का कर सकता हूं. एंड if I have not filed GSTR 1 of say September, then I cannot file GSTR 3. Okay, so it has been now linked. Both of them, 3B and 1, have been linked to a form that both will have to be filed sequentially. And if you don't file one, the other cannot be filed. So now we have covered one part of our today's discussion, which is about the changes in 3B and a part of the litigation. Now we are quickly hovering to the next part, which is about the annual returns. So in the annual returns, is the annual return for 21-22 optional for RTP's turnover? Friends, please try to understand there is a difference between being optional and between being exempted. Okay. From the year 2021, GSTR 9 has been exempted. See here the word uses on the recommendations of the council hereby exempts the registered person whose aggregate turnover in the financial year 2021 is up to 2 crores from filing the annual return. So you are exempted. So when you go ahead and file the GSTR 9, it is being assumed that you are filing it on your own. And if there is any mistake in GSTR 9, then you cannot plead that, I was filing GSTR 9 was optional. I just filed it just like that to be compliant and all. You cannot take all those grounds. Why I am saying so? We are recently facing an audit for an assessee for whom in a particular year, because of COVID, it was below 2 crores. But still, just as a matter of prudence, they have gone ahead and filed the annual return, and it's filled with mistakes. Now, department has issued notice on the basis of mistakes, and the client was taking the argument that within 2 crores, it is optional. Friends, please try to understand, it is not optional. Till 1920, it was optional. And that's why the word was that if you don't file GSTR 9 within the due date, it will be deemed that you have filed the GSTR 9. So now there is no deeming provision. Why I am trying to bring this out is because we need to go back and tell our clients, अगर आपको लगता है कि आपसे कोई गलतियां हुई हैं अकाउंट्स में और उसको दिखाना सुधारना है, तभी जाके आप 9 फाइल करो अगर आपका टर्नओवर बिलो। अगर नहीं है तो प्लीज फाइल मत, मतलब बेकार में वो नोटिस इनवाइट करके फायदा। Okay, so what are the changes in GST 9? See, I'll not go clause by clause, kya hai, the 4A, 4B and all, because that is there, but I'll also discuss about the litigation issues, which I think and believe is more important for all of us, the professionals. So, isme kya hai? 4I, 4J, they have made the changes. What is it? You know, you have to show your debit notes, credit notes separate. ये पहले क्या था, आपको नेट ऑफ करके आप दिखा सकते थे। अभी क्या बोल रहे हैं कि आपको फॉर 4B, 4C, 4D and 4E, in all these cases 4B to 4E, you have to show the gross figure in table 4, which is a turnover figure, and you have to show the credit notes in 4I separate. Similar for 4J, you know, for the debit notes, you have to show the gross figure, and you know, you have to show the debit note separately in 4J, and also in 4K and 4L, but the registered person will have to fill 4B to 4D without adjustment of any amendments. So what was happening till the last year, till 2021? Whatever amendments were there, we could, you know, take the net of the adjustments and fill it in table 4A, 4B. Okay, but now what they are saying, that if you have made any adjustments during the financial year, friends, please take a pause here, and we need to pay attention to one thing. Please be careful, because when I'm handling litigations on show cause notices issued because of GST 9 and 9C, there are certain things that we need as professionals to keep in mind. That GST 9 is supposed to be the figures which are coming or emanating out of your books of accounts. तो अगर आपके बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में कुछ आपने सेल जो दिखाया है, उसी के साथ आपके जीएसटी 9 को मैच करना चाहिए। ठीक है ना? ऐसा हो सकता है कि आपने कुछ रिटर्न्स में नहीं दिखाया, वो भी जीएसटी 9 में आना चाहिए। उसके बाद अगर आपका ऐसा है कि कोई भी शॉर्टफॉल है, उसको आप थ्रू डीआरसी 03 आपको पेमेंट करना चाहिए। बट ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि जितने का मैंने जीएसटीआर 3B में दिखाया, 1 में दिखाया, उतने का ही टर्नओवर में अपने जीएसटी 9 दिखाऊं। Because why I'm saying this, because even after 3 years, we are seeing some notices wherein, you know, the notice is issued because there is a difference between the books and the, you know, turnover shown in the GST 9. And in the reconciliation, they have just given a table 5 other adjustments and they have shown it. वो नहीं चलेगा सर। आपके बुक्स में जो है वही फिगर आपको GST 9 में दिखाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि उसके साथ आपको टैली करवाना पड़ेगा। इसके बाद जो भी आपने नहीं दिया, कम दिया, ज्यादा दिया, उसका आप जो भी है रिकंसिलिएशन कर सकते हो। ठीक है, तो अभी इसमें क्या हो सकता है कि कुछ कुछ एडजस्टमेंट्स ऐसे हैं जो कि ड्यूरिंग 21-22, मे बी ड्यूरिंग 21-22 अप्रैल में आपने कुछ जीएसटीआर 1 में गलत सेल डाल दिया, कोई एक फिगर गलत कर दिया, तो उसके जाके आपने मार्च में फिर से रेक्टिफाई कर दिया, सितंबर या नवंबर में जाके रेक्टिफाई कर दिया। तो वो जो सारे एडजस्टमेंट्स जो ड्यूरिंग द ईयर आपने किया है, उसको आपको 4K एंड 4L में दिखाना पड़ेगा, अलग से दिखाना पड़ेगा। तो जो भी फिगर आपका एज पर बुक्स है और जो आपने रिटर्न में दिखाया, उसको आप 4A 4B में रखिए, और जिसका आपने अमेंडमेंट किया है ड्यूरिंग द ईयर, प्लीज रिमेंबर द वर्ड ड्यूरिंग द ईयर, मतलब ड्यूरिंग अप्रैल 21 टू मार्च 22, उसमें जो आपने चेंजेस किया है, उस अमेंडमेंट्स किए हैं, उनको आप 4K एंड L में दिखाइए। तो क्या होगा, टोटल जब करेंगे तो आपके बुक्स के साथ टैली हो जाना चाहिए। नेक्स्ट इज 5D, 5E and 5F. So it's similarly about the, yeah. So similarly, what is there? It's about clubbing, you know, the exempted, the nil rated and the non-GST supplies. It is there. So now what they have given, they are saying that you report nil rated and exempt together and exempted, you can do, and non-GST अब अलग से दिखाओ। ठीक है, सो आप अलग अलग से भी दिखा सकते हो। You can show 5D, 5E, 5F separately, or if you want, what you can do is, you know, you can show the nil rated and the exempt services supplies together, and you can show your non-GST supplies together. Now, friends, there is a question normally which comes in our mind, which is being asked many places, कि सर ये non-GST supply क्या हो, nil rated क्या हो, exempted क्या हो? See, exempted का तो definition books में है, तो वो दिया गया, which is exempted as per the notification, and it includes non-taxable supply. Simple. ठीक है ना, non-taxable जो supply वो भी आ जाएगी। What is nil rated? Something which is taxable, but it is rated as of now and under nil. It is not there. For the time being, I'll tell that there is nothing as such. There is nothing as such which is nil rated as on date. As per the view of some of the professionals, nil rated is related to goods. Okay. But I'm not of that view. I'm not sure because I've not seen something like that. But that is the view. In my view, I've not seen any nil rated supplies as of now. What is non-GST supply? It is the Schedule 3 supplies. GST में Schedule 3 आपको मिलेंगे. Schedule 3 में जो भी supplies mention किया हुआ है, वो सारे non-GST supplies. जैसे sale of land and building. Okay? आपने किया है, तो वो क्या है? वो non-GST supply. If it is sold after the date of completion. Then you have purchased something from Dubai and sold in China. So purchase happening outside, sales happening outside India. So that is again a that's again a Schedule 3 item. So non-GST supply. तो क्या बोल रहे हैं कि आप ये अलग अलग करके आपको दिखाना पड़ेगा. Now the next and the most important amendment जो waiver exemption उठा दिया गया क्या है? वो है टेबल 17. टेबल 17 में क्या था? आउटवर्ड सप्लाईज के लिए आपको क्या दिखाना पड़ता है? HSN. तो ये टिल 2021 हम लोगों को रिलीफ मिला था कि हमको नहीं दिखाना पड़ रहा है. बट फ्रॉम 21-22 please bear in mind that this is the compulsory fee. You have to show and you have to give the figures for HSN. अभी इसमें एक डाउट आ रहा है. काफी क्वेश्चंस हम लोगों को मिले हैं मतलब ड्यूरिंग द वेबिनार एंड सेमिनार कि सर ये जो HSN देना पड़ेगा ये नेट ऑफ होगा या ग्रॉस होगा. ठीक है ना? प्लीज bear in mind that this will be a net off figure. That means your outwards invoices plus debit note minus credit note should be the figure which will match with your HSN details that I have given. But please do give the HSN figures because I'm seeing some of the nines that have come to us for review. They are telling that HSN is optional till 2021, so data was not ready, and so we have not given this. Yeah, Anshuji, we'll take all the questions at the end of the session. Thank you so much for raising the hand. But you can, for the meantime, you can, write the question in the question answer box. But I'll answer to all the questions once we are through with this. Okay. Then we come to GST. So ये 9 के दो भी थे. Now coming to GST 9C. So what are the changes in 9C? Table 12 जो है, Table 12 में they have mainly removed the waiver. Table 12 क्या बोलता है? Movement of ITC क्या है? What is the ITC as per your books? What is the ITC booked in earlier financial year, claimed in current financial year? ये आपको देना पड़ेगा. What is the ITC booked in current financial year, claimed in subsequent financial year? ये आपको 12C में देना पड़ेगा. ये for the last few years it was optional. आप सिर्फ 12A मतलब कितने आपने बुक्स में लिया और कितना आपका रिटर्न में है ये देना पड़ता था. अब इस साल से क्या हो गया? अच्छा friends, here I would like to say that I'm sure most of you are doing it, but when I'm fighting litigations and some of the show cause notices in different states, maybe I've fought in Delhi, Assam, Tripura, Hyderabad, even Calcutta, Assam, and all the states. So what I'm seeing in some of the cases that we don't have invoice level data for ITC. Okay, even for the year 2021. I'm not talking about 17, 18, 18, 19. वो तो छोड़ ही दीजिए. वो तो पहले था, हम लोग बच्चे थे, मालूम नहीं था, हम लोगों ने किया नहीं है इनवॉइस लेवल डेटा. वो टैली से देख के ग्रॉस करके फाइल कर दिया, वो अलग बात. But I'm talking about the recent period also. Please, whenever you're filing any ITC data, whenever you're filing any output tax data, please do provide ITC, please do provide invoice level data. And when I say invoice level data, what do I mean? I mean that whatever ITC is booked in your books, आप जो 12A में डाल रहे हो, that should be according to your invoice level. April में मैंने कौन से invoices के credit लिए books में, May में कौन सा लिया, like that. What are the credits that I have reversed? What are the credits that I have not taken? If it's ineligible, all this data it should be there in the invoice level data. Similarly, what is the ITC that had come in 2A of the current financial year, but I have booked it, but I've claimed it in the next financial year. तो इसमें सिचुएशन क्या है? 21-22 के 2A में आ गया था, बट मैंने क्रेडिट लिया बाय नवंबर 2022. ऐसा हो सकता है. तो उसके जो इनवॉइस लेवल डेटा है उसको आप रखिए. जैसे 12C, क्या कितने ऐसे हैं कि जिसका 2A में आपका अभी आया है और आपने नेक्स्ट ईयर आप लोगे, और पहले बार 12B क्या है? 2021 के 2A में आ गया है, बट आपने क्रेडिट लिया 21-20। ये सारे जितने भी डिटेल्स हैं आपको पता चलना चाहिए कि कौन से इनवॉइसेस के लिए आपने ये लिया है, क्योंकि कल जब आपका ऑडिट होगा या कोई भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगा, वो लोग इनवॉइस लेवल डेटा मांग रहे हैं, वो लोग ग्रॉस डेटा में नहीं जा रहे। Who are now coming to who are exempted from filing GST or 9C? Any department of the set. So now just coming to the back thing. So this is very clear. I think this is aware. Everybody is aware, but just taking a repetition. Central government departments, ISD, people deducting tax data shows, e-commerce operator, e-commerce operators, casual taxable persons, non-taxable, non-registered, non-resident taxable NRTP, any other registered person whose aggregate turnover during a financial year does not exceed 5 crores. So, इसमें क्या है, इन लोगों के लिए exempt है, and anybody whose aggregate turnover during a financial year does not exceed 5 crores. So it is exempted for them. It is, they don't need to file 9C. Now, this is the table. So I'll not go into the table, just this for the discussion sake. If you need, that's why I've just kept it. So what are the points of concern in table 5? So table 5 में क्या हो रहा है? First problem we are getting is trial balance is not attached by the article. So if you have a multi-location client, say the head office is in Delhi, but आपके जो clients हैं, they're scattered all over India. They have 20 branches. और आपने क्या किया? सारे branches में सिर्फ वो balance sheet upload कर दिया. तो क्या हो रहा है कि जब हम लोग ऑडिट करवा रहे हैं या फिर कोई भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो रहा है, शो कॉज नोटिस हो रहा है या फिर ASMT 10B आ रहा है, तो उसमें हम लोग रिकॉन्साइल नहीं कर पा रहे. तो इसलिए whenever you are filing 9C for any multi-location place, it is also mentioned. You see, if you go to the 9C format, it is clearly mentioned. Turnover as per audited financial statement for the state or UT for multi-GST and units under PAN, the turnover shall be derived from audited annual financial statement. So अगर आपके पास annual financial statements अलग से तो नहीं होंगे ब्रांच के, तो उसमें आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? एटलीस्ट आपके ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट के साथ आप एक ऑडिटेड ट्रायल भी दे दो उस पर्टिकुलर ब्रांच का. नहीं तो इसमें जो प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है कि हम लोग वो बाद में ASMT 10 जब कर रहे हैं या फिर जो भी स्क्रूटनी हो रहा है उसमें या फिर इन्वेस्टिगेशन उसमें डिफिकल्ट हो. नेक्स्ट, deemed supplies not being shown under 9C. Please try to understand that there are many things when the audit is happening, there are many things that are coming out of the audit. तो इसलिए आप जब रिकंसिलिएशन स्टेटमेंट कर रहे हो तब भी आपको थोड़ा बाहर जाके सोचना पड़ेगा, आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स जाके सोचना पड़ेगा. जैसे व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट कैन हैपन एज डीम्ड सप्लाई. जैसे कि you know that this particular company is a subsidiary of a foreign company and they are actually utilizing their brand and getting the orders or selling the goods, but they are not actually making a supply there. Okay. I'm sorry, it's the opposite. That it's a holding company here and it was a subsidiary company outside India. And this holding company was providing all the brand and support to the subsidiary company based in some other country. But they were not showing the deemed supply to the particular thing. Okay. So in this case, please do remember that if you have to do an export of services without payment of tax, then you have to raise a bill. So when you are not doing it, then it comes under export of services with payment of tax. Apart from this, there are many other deemed supplies that are happening, which you need to understand. The support that has been provided. At many places, there are things like, apart from deemed supply, we are also seeing some barter transactions. What are those? Like somebody is given a place on rent. A related party has given a place on rent to another person. But they're not paying any rent. They're just using the space and they're not paying any rent. So in this case, later on, the question is being asked by the department that why you have taken 4,000 square feet and you are paying rent on 4,000 square feet, you are availing the ITC for the same, whereas the place 3,000 square feet is being used by your sister concern or your related party, and they are not paying anything to you. So why is it so? So think about all these deemed supplies which are not coming in the balance sheet and which are off balance sheet items, which may be discussed in the balance sheet somewhere. So taking cognizance of that, please do mention the same in GST 9. Next is about the real estate sector and the advertising sector, about the WIP and the unbilled revenue. इसमें जो है ना हम लोग बहुत सारी दिक्कतें आ रही है. क्यों आ रही है? रियल स्टेट सेक्टर में क्या है कि आपको क्या करना पड़ता है, आपको एज पर द जीएसटी नॉर्म्स you have to raise, as per the GST laws, you have to raise the invoice as and when you are issuing the demand letter. Okay, and because of the time of supply, you are issuing the invoice and you're collecting the money and you're paying the tax. But as per your accounting standards, you're not supposed to do that because you are going to go with the percentage of completion method, and or you're going to raise the invoice only when the turnover is, the revenue is actually happening, the possession is actually being transferred to the person. So in this case, please just don't mention it as a difference. What we are seeing is that this is being mentioned as a difference. That turnover as per balance sheet is this much, as per annual return is this much. This is the difference. In the difference, one line is added. This is due to difference in accounting standards and GST laws. Sirs and madams, please don't do that. Okay. Please remember that whatever additional data or information you give in GST 9 and 9C, especially in GST 9C, that is going to reduce the litigation in the days to come. हम लोग ऐसे सारे काफी लिटिगेशन हैंडल कर रहे हैं इसलिए क्योंकि 9C में क्लियरली बताया नहीं गया है कि डिफरेंस किसकी है. तो इसके लिए आप पूछोगे सर कि ठीक है अरुप जी फिर क्या करना चाहिए. एक ही चीज आप कीजिए, आप उसका एक प्रॉपर रिकंसिलिएशन बनाएंगे कि एज पर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स दिस इज को अलग शीट में कीजिए, उसमें बताइए कि एज पर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स और एज पर अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड दिस इज द रेवेन्यू लेस advance which was realized by us earlier and which was shown in the GST thing, in the GST returns and in the GST 9 for the earlier year, and the advance which is received this year and shown in GST 9 of this year. So this way you do a proper reconciliation as to how the revenue is actually, why the revenue is there is a mismatch between the revenue as per your accounts and as per your GST return. Just don't write one single line and put in a figure of 14 crores, 15 crores, because it really becomes difficult later on to explain that. But before that, when you're filing the 9C, give a proper explanation. Okay, that this is the reason that the difference is there, and this is the amount which I'm showing in WIP, and this is the kind of advance that I've already collected from the persons and I've paid GST on the same, but it is not reflected in my books of accounts as per the accounting standards. Similarly, for advertising sector also, there is a place, actually there is a place where you can mention. See here, there is a place where you can mention the unbilled revenue at the end of the year, unbilled revenue at the beginning of the year. So what is this unbilled revenue? Unbilled revenue is nothing but the revenue which you have actually generated, but you could not bill it because you could not meet the milestone given by the customer. Okay, so you're an advertising agency. You have got an advertising campaign for maybe stretching for FIFA World Cup, and it falls in 2 months. And your client has agreed that only after the World Cup final ends, you can raise the invoice. So in this case, till 30th of November, from 20th of November to 30th of November, you have run the spots on the television, or you have run the different digital campaigns for the company. So your revenue has been generated, but it has not been billed. Why? Because you can bill it only in the next month. So suppose if this would have happened in the month of March, क्या होता? इसको हम लोग अनबिल्ड रेवेन्यू में दिखाते हैं, राइट? ये अनबिल्ड रेवेन्यू दिखाने से क्या एडवांटेज होगा? अनबिल्ड रेवेन्यू आप जैसे ही दिखा रहे हो तो इसका जब बिलिंग जाके आप बाद में कर रहे हो तो आपके ये क्वेश्चन नहीं आएंगे कि आपके इतने के आईटीसी लास्ट ईयर में आया है बट इसका जो आउटपुट टैक्स आप क्यों जनरेट नहीं किया. That is also a question we are getting in many parts. Okay, and apart from that, another thing is that as per your time of supply, आपने तो काम कर दिया था तो उसका आपने क्यों generate नहीं किया and things like that. But here we have to say that as per the time of supply, we can render it only as per the agreement, and the agreement says that I can do it after the FIFA World Cup ends. So that's why in these sectors wherein unbilled revenue has to be shown, please do show the unbilled revenue clearly, because or else that creates a huge challenge. Next is the sale of fixed asset. That is very easy. Whatever is there, please show it in 5O, and in the display, in the difference column, please do mention that this amount is for sale of fixed assets which are made during the year. And here also, I would request you to put a reconciliation saying that it is from the fixed asset schedule, okay, as per the Companies Act, that you can check in this particular table or column, you will get the sale of fixed asset amount. And this is the fixed asset on which we have paid the GST. And this is how the thing has been paid. Okay. As soon as you give all these reconciliations, it becomes easy for the proper officer to understand, or else he has to go into some kind of assumptions and presumptions. Next is about the differences shown. Please be careful when you are filing a GST or 9C, because whatever differences are being shown in some of the states, okay, with due respect, they are issuing the notice only purely on the basis of differences shown by GST or 9C. So please be careful that whenever you're showing a difference, I would rather say, please don't show any difference. Put it in the appropriate columns. आपके पास सब कुछ है, मतलब deemed supply है, trade discount है, which is not eligible, credit notes which are not eligible. जो भी दिखाना है आप दिखा दो, ठीक है ना? वो अलग से आप दिखा दो. और इसके बाद भी अगर कुछ रहता है तो put in a separate, reconciliation statement manually in Excel and put that as a part of your attachment after the observations. Okay, and mention there, it's a detail of the table 5.0 of GST, table 5.0 details are given here, and put in a proper reconciliation. But try as much as possible not to keep anything under the differences shown column. Next is about, so this is there, as I've shared. Put it in table 5. अगर आपको ऐसा कुछ लगता है कि आप ऊपर नहीं दे सकते हो, तो put it in 5.0, adjustment in turnover due to reasons not listed above, and then give a proper explanation through a separate statement. Now, coming to table 7. Table 7 is basically a movement from your total turnover by deducting your exempt supplies, zero-rated supplies, supplies on which you are supposed to pay tax on the RCM and all. Friends, here, I'll just quickly say, I've already discussed about exempted supply and related supply, non-GST supply. But I'll just quickly try to share here about one thing. The main problem that we are facing in some issues is that some of the taxpayers, they are wrongly showing the amount in zero-rated supplies without payment of tax under value of exempted supplies. Friends, please bear in mind that if you show something in value of exempted supplies, export supplies in value of exempted, what happens? Two things. It will raise an issue on rule 42-43. Department कल जाकर आपको बोलेंगे कि सर आपने तो इसको दिखाया exempted supplies, तो आप rule 42-43 में इसको reverse क्यों नहीं किया? आप कीजिए, इसको reversal कीजिए. Second thing is you lose your benefit of refunds also. Okay, and here, friends, since there is a common issue which is coming out from many places across India, I thought that we all need to understand as professionals that the explanation to section 17.3 clearly mentions that value of exempt supply shall not include the value of activities or transactions specified in schedule 3 except those specified in para 5 of the said schedule. So for no supply, okay, for no supply turnover, it will not be treated. It will not be treated as exempt supply, and no reversal need to be made under rule 42 or 43. Okay, please do bear this in mind. Okay, so now coming to this, so what are the issues here? First, you are showing in अच्छा ये भी एक मजे का बात है. हम लोग exempt supplies में तो दिखा दे रहे हैं, ठीक है ना? Figure 9 में दिखा रहे हैं, 9C में दिखा रहे हैं, but ITC reversal कहीं पे नहीं दिखा रहे. Friends, we need to understand that whenever we are showing something in the exempted column, we need to cross-check whether any ITC reversal is required or not. If any ITC reversal is required, please do get the same reversed under 9C. Get it paid through DRC 03 and close the matter there and there. Because you're going to save on the interest, you're going to save on the penalty amount also later, apart from the harassment that we do. Okay. Next is whether pure agent will be treated as exempt supply. Now, I handle a few airlines companies. So in the airlines, what happens? The user development fee, okay, and the passenger service fee, PSF is known. These are actually pure agent supply. So the Airport Authority of India, they bill all this to the airlines, and the airlines will bill the exact amount along with GST to the customer. So these are pure agent supplies. So now, when you are doing this, there is a condition. And what is that condition? The condition is that whatever inward services are coming for this pure agent services, you cannot avail the credit, right? So in this situation, will ITC reversal be required? In my view, no. In my view, when I'm supplying a pure agent supply services, this is actually a no GST supply. It is not an exempt. Okay, there is no levy on the same, because whatever amount I'm collecting, I'm just paying it off to I'm collecting the same from the customer, whatever amount I'm paying to my vendor. Similarly, for customs house agent and the air travel agent, they also pay a lot of money. Like the customs house agent, they pay all those clerkage fees, dock labor board charges, the stuffing fees, de-stuffing fees, unloading fees, and so many other demurrage charges. So many other things are there which they pay as a pure agent. And in these cases, whatever ITC is coming, whatever ITC is flowing from the services, they don't avail that ITC. Why? What do they do? They add the tax amount to the services and bill it to the customer. So in my view, these are not to be treated as exempt supply. But please bear in mind, there is a if and but. वो रहता है ना, subject to condition. ये condition क्या है? Condition यही है कि आप उसका inward supplies पे आप credit avail नहीं कर पाओ. Next is refund applications. What is the refund application? How is it coming to refund applications? Please remember, if you are not showing the export turnover without payment of taxes properly in your GST 9C, in that case, many proper officers, while evaluating your refund applications, वो लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं कि सर आपने तो 9C में दिखाया नहीं कि आपका रिफंड है, मतलब एक्सपोर्ट सप्लाईज है विदाउट पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स, तो अब आप अभी कहां से आके बोल रहे हो कि आपका रिफंड चाहिए. So that's why please do remember, जैसे हम लोग जब एयरपोर्ट में जाते हैं ना, वो बोलते हैं ना कि this is the last and the final call for Mr. such and such or Mr. such and such traveling to the Delhi, इसके बाद boarding will start and this and that. So remember that 9 and 9C is the last and final call for all passengers who are going to file their 99. So the data for this particular. So ये 990 जो file कर रहे हो, this is not only for a reconciliation or a form. Please remember that you are actually doing an assessment for your client. You are trying to evaluate कि क्या पेमेंट करना है, क्या नहीं करना है, क्या रिवर्स करना है, क्या गलती क्या है, कौन सा रिफंड मिलेगा, क्या नहीं मिलेगा, everything. Next, coming to table 9, which is the reconciliation of tax paid. Here, please try to fill up everything properly as per the rates, and there will be unreconciled payment of amount अगर रहेगा. अगर shortfall है, then please do pay the same through DRC 03. If there is a excess payment that can be kept there is no issue on that. Now, what are the issues regarding table 9? One issue that we are facing is in case of excess payment of tax. तो आपने तो excess payment of tax का refund application डाल दिया है, but जब हम लोग refund process करने के लिए जा रहे हो, वहां पे ऑफिसर देखते हैं कि GST 9C में आपने टेबल 9 पे कहीं पे नहीं दिखाया कि आपको उस साल में एक्सेस पेमेंट किया होगा. तो तब जाके ऑफिसर पूछते हैं आपसे कि सर या मैडम आप बताओ 9C में आपने कहां पे दिखाया कि आपको जितना पेमेंट करना था उससे कम, उससे ज्यादा आपने पेमेंट किया. तो तब आप बोलोगे सर मैंने तो एक्चुअली बुक्स के हिसाब से कर दिया था और पेबल अमाउंट जो है वो भी मैंने बुक्स के हिसाब से 9 मतलब GST 9 के 9 में वही दिखा दिया. प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट whatever amount you have actually paid, that should reflect in GST 9 table 9 of GST 9, because the figure flowing to table 9 of 9C is coming from GST 9 table 9 only. दोनों ही 9 है, ठीक है ना. तो उसमें आप देख के फिलअप कीजिए ताकि आपके 9C में ये अमाउंट एक्चुअली एक्सेस दिखे. क्यों? अगर ये एक्सेस नहीं दिखेगा तो आपको बाद में जाके रिफंड क्लेम करने में डिफरेंस प्रॉब्लम. नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट इंट्रा हेड एरर्स इन पेमेंट. ये क्या है? आपको पेमेंट करना चाहिए था IGST, आपने पेमेंट कर दिया CGST, SGST. ये आपने बुक्स में फाइल किया है, आपने देखा है उसमें, तो आपके जो GST 9 में उसमें दिख रहा है कि IGST में एक्सेस पेमेंट 1 लाख है, CGST में शॉर्ट पेमेंट 50,000, SGST में 50,000 शॉर्ट. तो आपने अपने से ओपिनियन दे दिया कि भाई मेरा टैक्सेस तो फुल पेड है, 1 लाख IGST में जो ज्यादा दिया हुआ है, 50,000 करके CGST SGST में कम है, तो उसमें बात क्या, वो तो नेट ऑफ हो जाएगा. प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड सच नेट ऑफ डू नॉट वर्क इन GST, एट लीस्ट नॉट नाउ. 17, 18, 18, 19 में जो हो गया वो हो गया, अलग बात है, बट अभी आप कोई भी ऑफिसर ये नहीं माने. इसलिए अगर आपका ऐसा कोई सिनेरियो हो रहा है कि 9C में आपको दिख रहा है कि आपके किसी हेड में कम है, किसी हेड में ज्यादा है, जिस हेड में आपका कम है उस हेड में प्लीज पे द टैक्स. एंड जिस हेड में ज्यादा है, आपने पेमेंट ज्यादा कर दी, उसका आप रिफंड कर दो। आपके पास तो टाइम ही है, आपके पास तो 2 साल का टाइम है फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स, तो अभी टाइम है, तो उसका आप रिफंड क्लेम कर लो। आप बोलोगे सर मेरा तो 20 लाख का एक्सेस हो गया सर, आप अब बोल रहे हो कि 10 लाख अलॉन्ग विद इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट करें, ठीक है ना, जिस दिन से गलती हुआ है, और आप बोल रहे हो कि फिर 20 लाख का भी रिफंड अप्लाई करे, रिफंड कब मिलेगा किसी को मालूम नहीं। बट फ्रेंड्स, please try to remember that if tomorrow there is a litigation on this issue और आपको पेमेंट करना पड़ा, तब आपको ये जो शॉर्ट पेमेंट है इस पे इंटरेस्ट भी ज्यादा पेमेंट करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि 2 साल के बाद पकड़ा जाएगी, मतलब ये पकड़ा जाएगा, तो 2 साल के बाद जब होगा तब इंटरेस्ट भी ज्यादा लगेगा, 2 साल का पेनल्टी भी लग सकता है, और आपके रिफंड का प्रोविजन भी चला जाएगा, रिफंड भी नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि 2 साल खत्म हो चुके हो। So, if there are any intra-head errors, please make the corrections right now and pay the short payment and avail the excess and avail the refund for the excess. Next, RCM paid by the builders for purchases from unregistered persons. इसका भी जो है, इसका क्या हो रहा है ना, काफी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, ये DRC 03 में पेमेंट करना पड़ता है, वो DRC 03 में पेमेंट कर रहे हैं, बट इसका क्या कर रहे हैं, they are showing it in GSTR 9C, इसमें दिखा दे रहे हैं, बट DSTR 9 में नहीं दिखा रहे। तो क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे, क्योंकि वो 3B के थ्रू पेमेंट नहीं हुआ है, तो इसलिए क्या होता है कि वो 3B में शॉर्टफॉल दिखाता है, राइट, वो 3B में आपको शॉर्ट दिखेगा, तो 9 में जाके आपको वो शॉर्ट दिखेगा, तो देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम ऑन दैट। अगर आप DRC 03 में पेमेंट करते हो, तो आप वहां पे अगर वो शॉर्टफॉल भी रहेगा, आप ऑब्जर्वेशन में डाल सकते हो, पेड थ्रू DRC सच एंड सच डेट, तो उसमें आपका कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, तो उसको आप RCM में दिखा दो इन GSTR 9 एंड देन यू मेक द वो शॉर्टफॉल दिखेगा आपके 9C में कि आपको उसका पेमेंट नहीं हुआ, तो उसका आप दिखा दो कि आपने उसको थ्रू DRC 03 आपने। नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट 11 आई विल रिक्वेस्ट यू नॉट टू गिव एनी अमाउंट इन 11, क्योंकि अगर ऐसा कुछ अमाउंट है जो पेबल है, सर हम उसको पे ही कर देते हैं ना, उसको ड्यू क्यों रखेंगे, ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर इसमें अपने ये जब हम लोग व्हेन द प्रोफेशनल्स वर डूइंग द साइनिंग, देन फिर भी इसका कोई मतलब था कि आपने जो भी पेबल है वो नहीं है, मैं आई डोंट एग्री, यू नो, लाइक ऑन दिस क्रेडिट यू हैव टेकन, आप उसको आपको नहीं देना था, जैसे ऑन मे बी मेरिन फ्रेट, ओके, द रिवर्सल RCM आपने पेमेंट नहीं किया, तो ऑडिटर विल गिव द ओपिनियन दैट यू नो इट वाज पेएबल, RCM इज पेएबल, ही इज नॉट पेड, तो ये सब था। बट ड्यूरिंग 21-22, if the taxpayer is sure that some amount is payable, I'm not sure why the taxpayer will not pay that amount. So this column, this table, I think, in my humble opinion, should not be filled. Next is about 12. So I've already discussed about this. This is a very important table. Friends, we have just about 5 to 10 minutes left of the discussion, and then we'll go to the Q&A. So here, friends, please remember that ITC availed as per the audited financial statements for the state or UT is given. ओके, सो इसमें क्या है ना, अगर आपका डिफरेंट ब्रांचेस के हैं, तो प्लीज प्रिपेयर ए प्रॉपर ट्रायल बैलेंस, एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रायल बैलेंस प्लीज टेक दिस ITC दैट यू आर अवेलिंग. डोंट जस्ट पुट एनी फिगर, you know, without having a backup of the same, because you need to upload the trial balance here also. And for 12B, as I have already shared with you, that ITC booked in earlier financial years, claimed in current financial year, the invoice level data has to be given. Okay, so what is that ITC which was there in 2021 2A and which I have taken? So इसमें आप क्या कीजिए, आप सारा इनवॉइस का डिटेल दे दो, जैसे आप देते हो, जैसे इनवॉइस नंबर, डेट, टैक्सेबल वैल्यू, अमाउंट, CGST, SGST, IGST, इनवॉइस वैल्यू, इसके बाद आप एक कॉलम डाल दो, 2A का डेट भी इसमें डाल दो, वो रहेगा 2021 का। ITC अवेल 3B, कौन सा 3B में आपने लिया है वो डाल दो। तो ये क्या नहीं, आपको पक्का एक रिकंसिलिएशन स्टेटमेंट बन जाता है, तो कल जब आपका ऑडिट होगा, स्क्रूटनी होगा, इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगा, जो भी होगा, आप उसको देने से ऑफिसर विल अंडरस्टैंड. सिमिलरली फॉर ITC बुक्ड इन करंट फाइनेंशियल ईयर टू बी क्लेम्ड इन सब्सिक्वेंट फाइनेंशियल ईयर, उसका भी आप बना दो कि ये सारे इनवॉइसेस हैं जो कि मेरे इस 2A में आ गया है, इस महीने के 2A में आ गया, 2B में आ गया है, और जिसका कि मैंने इस महीने का 3B में मैंने फाइल किया, तो वो क्या होगा, अप्रैल 22 से लेके सितंबर 22 के 3B में आएगा, वो भी आप डाल दो, ये आपका पक्का एक कंप्लीट डॉक्यूमेंट हो जाता है, एंड इट शुड मैच विथ योर ITC एज पर योर 9 GSTR 9 अगर उसमें कुछ अनरिकॉन्साइल्ड है, इसका मतलब ये है कि आपका कुछ इनएलिजिबल आईटीसी है जो कि आपके बुक्स में है और आपने उसका रिवर्सल नहीं किया है, तो वो चाहे तो आप अभी रिवर्सल कर सकते हो, या फिर आप बोल सकते हो कि दैट इज दैट टू बी रिवर्स। बट कभी भी सिचुएशन ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपके एज पर ऑडिटेड बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में कम है और आपने जीएसटी 9 में क्लेम ज्यादा किया है। दैट शुड नॉट बी द सिचुएशन। अगर वो हुआ है तो देन देयर इज अ मैटर ऑफ एक्सेस अवेलमेंट ऑफ आईटीसी। प्लीज डू चेक द सेम। Okay, so what are the issues in GST in table 12? One issue that we are getting in the notices is that mismatch of table 8C and 12C. मतलब डिपार्टमेंट बोल रहे हैं, दे आर सेंडिंग अ नोटिस कि सर आपने जीएसटी 9 के टेबल 8C में बताया कि आपने 1 लाख का कैरी फॉरवर्ड किया, और आप जीएसटी 9C के टेबल 12C में आप बोल रहे हो कि आपने 1.5 लाख का क्रेडिट फॉरवर्ड किया। तो ऐसा मिसमैच क्यों है आप बताओ, ठीक है ना? तो दैट्स व्हाई फ्रेंड्स, प्लीज ट्राई टू रिकंसाइल जीएसटी 9 9C प्रॉपर्ली टुगेदर एंड देन फाइल द सेम। उसके पहले आप फाइल ही मत करो, ठीक है? देन आई as shared, manual reconciliation should be given for table 12. एकदम प्रॉपर दीजिए, आप समझा दीजिए कि कितने का क्रेडिट था, कौन से बिल पे आपने क्रेडिट लिया है, किस कौन से बिल्स पे आपने, मतलब ऐसा है कि लास्ट ईयर का है और इस ईयर में आपने क्लेम किया, कौन सा ऐसा है कि इस ईयर का क्रेडिट और आपने नेक्स्ट ईयर में किया। ये सारा जो मैनुअल रिकंसिलिएशन है, दिस शुड बी फाइल। नेक्स्ट, अनदर की इशू इज दैट मार्च 22 के जीएसटी 3B जो है, अच्छा पीयूष जी हैज जॉइंड अस। ओके सर, इसमें और एक इशू है मार्च 20 so March 22 GST 3B has been filed after November 22. तो जैसे आपको मालूम है, it is filed after the due date for 16/4. So ideally that credit will not be allowed. Okay, that credit will not be allowed. तो इस सिचुएशन में आपको क्या करना चाहिए? Whether you should say that it is claimed in the next financial year, or you should reduce that amount. In my view, in my humble view, if you don't want to go for litigation challenging section 16/4, अगर ऐसा कोई सिनेरियो है कि 22 के कुछ कोई भी 3B रिटर्न्स आपने फाइल किया आफ्टर 30 नवंबर 22 और उसमें आपने क्रेडिट भी अवेल किया है, मेरा मानना है कि उसको 12C में मत दिखाइए। 12C नहीं दिखाने से क्या होगा, आपका उतने अमाउंट का एक्सेस आईटीसी अवेलमेंट दिखाएगा, उसका आप जो भी है रिवर्सल करके आप उस पर इंटरेस्ट देके पेमेंट कर दो। और अगर आपको लगता है कि आपके क्लाइंट will be interested to litigate the issue and challenge, because they have to challenge the wires of section 16/4. ये नहीं बता सकते कि I don't admit 16/4, मैंने बाद में क्रेडिट लिया, जो भी है। अगर वो करते हैं तो अलग बात है, बट अगर वो नहीं करते, then this amount should not be taken in your table 8C and 12C. Rather, what should happen is that it should be taken as नहीं लेने से दिखाएगा कि आपने एक्सेस अवेल किया इन जीएसटी 3B। To that extent आप उसको हटा दो, ठीक है ना? उसको आप मतलब पे कर दो along with it. Okay, so on next issue is on sale of assets, ITC reversal shown as output tax. This is again a major issue. If you see rule 44, what does it say? If there is any excess ITC that has been availed over and above the output tax, that amount has to be added to your output tax and you have to pay that. ठीक है, अगर ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू पे उससे ज्यादा हो रहा है तो अलग बात है, बट अगर उससे कम हो रहा है और आपको अगर आईटीसी रिवर्स करना है तो इन दैट केस यू हैव टू शो इट एज आउटपुट टैक्स। बट आपके बुक्स में आप क्या करते हैं, आपके बुक्स में आपको उसका आईटीसी का रिवर्सल करना दिखाना पड़ता है, तो इसमें कभी कभी वो डिफरेंसेस आ जा रहे हैं। तो दैट्स व्हाई इन दिस केस प्लीज प्रोवाइड इट इन अ रिकंसिलिएशन that this is the value of the asset that I've sold, this is the ITC that I've reversed, this much ITC I have added to the output tax in this particular month and paid the same. तो इसमें जो है बाद में कोई भी differences नहीं थी। Next is about ITC availed and reversed. Again, this is a very important issue. इसमें क्या हो रहा है, काफी taxpayers they are taking a view कि 16/4 को avoid करने का एक easy तरीका क्या है कि आप पहले 3B में ले लो, ठीक है, और फिर अदर रिवर्सल में दिखा दो, जो अभी हम लोग कर रहे हैं। इनफैक्ट अभी हम लोग टेम्पररी रिवर्सल तो कर सकते हैं, बट पहले दैट वाज नॉट अलाउड फॉर 21-22, दैट वाज नॉट अलाउड। तो उसमें अगर आपने अवेल करके रिवर्स कर दिया तो उसको आपको क्या करना चाहिए? can you actually show it? In my view, show it in GSTR 9 table 6B, show it in table 7H in the whatever reversals are there. So net it will go. But the problem is that you need to remember that reclaiming this ITC later on may be a problem, because other than reclaiming credit for non-payment to vendors, there is no other provision under the GST. Okay, but in my view, if I avail such credit and reversed it, please do take it in 9 and reverse it. And in table 12 of GSTR 9C, what you should ideally do is you should not take it in the avail column, because it is a net effect, because the avail ultimately is net of the reversals. So this is table 14, which is the reconciliation of ITC. This is optional core table. You can or you cannot show it. That doesn't matter. It is just an optional table. So what are the issues in table 14? If you are at all giving the figures in table 14, which many corporates are giving this year, please be careful to reconcile it with the data that you have provided in clause 44 of form 3C. ऐसा नहीं हो कि उसमें आपने कुछ अलग डेटा दे दिया और इसमें आपने कोई अलग डेटा दे दिया, फिर अगर वो होगा तो फिर उसके लिए डिफरेंसेस के लिए फिर आपके पास, क्योंकि क्लॉज 44 ऑफ फॉर्म 3CB will be forwarded to your proper officer, okay, and he can do a checking of clause 44 में क्या दिखाया और आपने clause 14 sorry table 14 of GST 9C में क्या दिखाया. So there should be a proper parity and matching. And apart from that, in table 14 there are some type gap and ITC reversal issues. Like in case of imported goods, it may so happen, that you have imported in a different time and you have availed it in books of accounts later on. So you are showing all those things. So because of that, please be careful that you take the reconciliation of this particular ITC properly as per the ITC that you have availed in the particular tax period. It should not have any time lapse issues or differences. So with this, I would like to end my presentation today, my deliberation. So wherein I would like to place on record my deepest appreciation for my team, especially Anandita, who helps me with this presentation, and many other stakeholders, like my friends, CA Unni Krishnan, CA Venugopal Gilla, CA Arpit Haldia, who constantly provide me support in terms of the presentations that we do. And I would also like to thank Voice of CA for making this wonderful arrangement for the seminar today, and that too on this burning issue of 9C and 3B. And finally, many thanks to all the participants for giving their time, for this maybe 2 hours of their time from the busy schedule, which is really a huge encouragement, not only for myself, but also to the hosts, the Voice of CA, who have put in a lot of time and effort into arranging such programs. Thank you very much. And now I'll take the question and answers.
Thank you so much.
And I would also like to share here that I'll be sharing this PPT with the organizers, and they'll be sharing it in turn with all of you. So you'll get the PPT.
So that is the most important thing you have mentioned in the end. Because I can see hundreds of participants were very much constant at during the whole seminar or whole presentation. So it was a wonderful session on the burning topic, as you have said. And I would say that हमारे अश्विनी जिंदल जी और पीयूष बांसल जी were traveling both. One was coming to Chandigarh, one was going to coming from Chandigarh, and both were having lockdown on the mobile only. So I was given the responsibility to make sure कि internet कहीं पे down up ना हो, कोई problem ना आए. So they're always concerned. And पीयूष जी ने जब आपके बारे introduction दी, तो it was clearly and absolutely clear introduction for you कि सर को बुलाओ इस burning topic के ऊपर या इस last day के ऊपर. क्यों कहते हैं ना, एक लास्ट ओवर में छक्का मारना बहुत जरूरी होता है. सो आई थिंक मैं वोट ऑफ थैंक्स वाली लाइनें ना ही बोलूं तो तभी अच्छा रहेगा. सो आई हैंड इट ओवर टू पीयूष बांसल जी. सो प्लीज.
Thank you, Gulleen. Thank you very much, and thank you, Arup sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and sparing your valuable time for our members. And no doubt I could not attend this, but I am pretty sure that all the members have must enjoyed this event. And it would be a learning for all of them. 3B की जो भी changes हैं, IFF 1, 2B, 9 और 9C. This is the last month now coming from tomorrow. December is the last month for 9 and 9C. वो सारी clarity सबको हो गई होंगी. Definitely, if you are the speaker, तो वो कहते हैं कि अगर बैटिंग करने के लिए सचिन तेंदुलकर है, तो सामने कोई भी आ जाए वो सिक्सर लगना ही लगना है, जैसे गुरलीन जी ने कहा है अभी, तो वो सिक्सर लगा ही होगा. Thank you very much for your deliberations and sharing your knowledge with all the members. And thank you once again to all the participants, sir. Thank you for sparing your 6 days with us. This was the 6th day. कुछ टॉपिक हमारे अगर रह गए हैं या कुछ और आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट होगी कि ये चीज भी कवर की जाए, then please let us know so that we may arrange this course part 2. We will be definitely doing that. Thank you very much once again. Over to you, Gulleen.
Fuji Jindal sir has joined in the beginning and has already mentioned that very soon we are coming with the part 2, because some of the topics or some of the interior of the topics have been raised by the attendees, and I would say that we are also the part of the attendees. And once again, jaise Piyush ji ne kaha, there's a special thanks to all the attendants who have made this 6 days possible, because for a speaker, the volume of the attendance also matters a lot. जब सुनने वाले available होंगे तो बताने वाले को और भी दिलचस्पी रहती है, क्यों अरूप जी? So on the behalf of Ashwini Jindal sir also, I would like to thanks everyone for joining, because he is not able to connect right now because of the internet issue. So thank you once again to the speaker, Piyush Bansal ji.
I think, Gulleen ji, so let us take the questions now.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yes. Why not?
So I'll start from the last question. So there is share PPT. PPT will be shared by the organizer. That will be done. Sir, tax paid in 2017 but adjusted in DRC 03 in 2022. Interest lagega. When you say tax paid, I assume that you have deposited in the electronic cash ledger only, and you have adjusted in DRC. Unfortunately, as per the structure of GST, ये मैटर नहीं करता कि कब आपने कैश लेजर में पैसा डाला है. It matters when you have actually adjusted it either through DRC 03 or your GST or 3B, then only the entire payment gets settled. तो इसमें आपका interest लगेगा if it's a matter of 2017. Okay, then next is if we reverse ITC on CN received by supplier in table 4B2, then one problem is that at the time of filing 9, said reversal is shown in table 7 of 9, and this table is not considered while comparing net ITC of 3B with 2A of whole year. Yeah, right. So this is something that we already notified. I think thank you for bringing this up, and this I have taken during the discussion also, that credit notes received from supplier that should not ideally come in 4B2. Okay, it should come in 4B1, but as per the understanding that we have got, it gradually will have a separate setup wherein the credit note reversals can be shown separately, and that is how the GSTR 9 module may be changed for 22-23 in the days to come, but we have to see that. And for the time being, as it has been instructed that we have to show the credit note from suppliers under 4B2, we are requesting and suggesting our taxpayers to show it in 4B2 so that there is no diversity of opinion, divergence of opinion with the department. Whether pure agent value of amount collected from customer is to be shown as non-GST supply. Yes, it has to be shown as non-GST supply, as I have just shared with you. That remember that when you are availing any pure agent services, providing any pure agent services, please don't avail the ITC on the services which are incoming to you. If you are doing that, then the pure agent services, and those are non-GST supplies, and in my view, that will not be a part of the exempt supply, and we don't need to reverse ITC on the same, because I'm not taking any ITC for them at all. And it's not a part of my common credit also. Sir, my output supply mostly exempt, but only 1-2% taxable. So in this case, can I use ITC to pay output liability from ITC on purchase? See, if your 1 or 2% is only taxable, we suggest not to take ITC, because जैसे आपको मालूम है कि ITC बहुत बड़ा पंगा है, मतलब जैसे problems आ रहे हैं. So it is better that you take the ITC and reverse the entire ITC under 4B1. तो आपके लिए आगे जाके कोई problem ही नहीं रहेगा. And because see, if you take ITC, फिर आपका वो सारा common credit कितना है, exclusively for taxable business कितना है, exclusive for exempt supplies कितना है, वो सारे questions आ जाएंगे. तो इसलिए it's better that you don't avail any credit if only 1 or 2% is taxable. It is better. Yes.
I have one question in this regard.
Yeah.
Let's say if someone is giving export of services, I would say services, and he he has been giving services on exempt part that LUT is being issued. So should he take ITC of the various expenses he do, like internet expenses हो गए, rent के ऊपर उसका GST है?
हाँ, अगर LUT में कर रहे तब ले सकते हो, because
उसका फिर
export of
refund apply
services
कर ले, कोई
taxable.
issue तो नहीं होता उसमें?
नहीं, as per rule 42, export of services will be treated as taxable supplies.
ठीक है.
तो इसलिए उसका exempt supplies में treat नहीं किया जाए.
Okay.
Then next question is related something, yeah, right? So what are the provision for availing ITC on commercial vehicles like delivery van for delivery of goods, tractors, trolley used in factory? Sir, after 1st February 2019, the word other conveyances have been deleted. Okay, from section 17(5)(a). So, इसलिए after 1st February 2019, there is no difference of opinion कि उसपे आप ITC ले सकते हो on your commercial vehicles like delivery van for delivery of goods, tractors, trolleys used in factory for movement of goods. ये आप ले सकते हो, there is no confusion. If it is prior to 1st February 2019, still I have given opinion that we should be taking it, okay, because that is being taken only for purely delivery of my goods and not delivery of passengers. But regarding tractors and trolleys, since those are included under the definition of other conveyance as per the Motor Vehicles Act, there is a difference of opinion. But after 1st February 2019, after the amendment, there is no confusion. You can avail the ITC on this. 8A for 2021-22 is updated up to numbers filed via, sorry, this is another important thing that I should have to share, but maybe someone missed. It is that 8A is not updated up till now. It will be updated maybe only after 5 to 6 days after 30th November is ending, because after till 30th November, whatever one is filed, 3D is filed, all those data is going to be taken into consideration. So that's why we should actually file or prepare everything only maybe from after 5th or 6th December, when we get the updated 8A in the on the portal basically. Apart from the table 8 and the reconciliation of input, we can do the reconciliation of output tax, the reversals and everything else. Only for 8A, we need to keep it pending till 5th or 6th of December. Same question is there. Okay. Next is, my client is engaged in business of export of goods and services. There are 2 bills raised, one for export of goods and other for tool and development charges. Okay. What is the GST implication on tool and development charges? Whether bill can be raised without charging GST. The tools will never be sent to the these tools used for manufacturing of the goods, exported goods. Okay, so you are raising 2 bills basically. See, since it is export of goods and export of services, you can always raise an invoice without taxes if you are taking an LUT. So I think that would be the safest bet to do it, because what you are trying to say is that these tools are actually capital goods which are, which are going to be prepared, which are prepared for the end customer, but they will be used by me as dice. They will not be sent to them. So even in that case, since the goods are not, even though the goods are not moving, you have actually rendered a service of, designing the tools, creating them, and preparing them. So to that extent, maybe it will be treated as export of supply of services. That's why, to be on the safer side, it would always be better that you show it as export of goods and export of services under LUT. Okay, we have my business 100% for non-GST supply. Will the input on services will be no? If your business is 100% for non-GST supply, then no input services will be available. You can't take the inputs. How to deal with RCM input cumulative in portal in case of exempt supply, while in books we are debited to profit and loss account. Yeah, so if RCM you are taking in your books of accounts, to whenever you are taking it in the portal, take it in the portal and then reverse it under Rule 42. Whatever RCM credit you are taking, that also needs to be reversed in Rule 42 as per the proportion of your exempt supply and your taxable supply. So these are the questions that we have, and I think we are well within time. So that is one of the best things.
So we are 100% on time, and all the queries have been done. And I hope there is no query left out, since all the Q&A has been answered very beautifully. Great. So, sir, let's take a leave for the day and the course. Once
Yes.
again, thank you, everyone. We are very much the voice of CA. On the behalf of Voice of CA, Coordinator Jindal Sahab, Piyush Bansal ji, and the speaker, Arup Das ji, the speaker of the day. We are very much thankful to you all and hope to see you very soon in the part 2 session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much once again, sir.
I request
Thank
the
you very
coordinator to
much.
please end the session.
Yes.